Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
Thank you again, Sal, and thank you, Debate Talk for You audience, for taking time out to hear this message. And again, the title is Interracial Marriage a Sin? Now, I've done this class before on my Blog Talk show, and I decided I should do it again for a larger audience. And the reason why I did it the first time and why I'm doing it now is because, on social media, there has always been a controversy about interracial marriage. And on Facebook, I'm always hearing about how there's a constant debate about how it is a sin or it is not a sin for somebody to marry outside their race. Now, the main proponents of this view, as usual, are what we know as the Black Hebrew Israelites. All Black Hebrew Israelites believe or teach this. But there are some racist Hebrew Israelites out there that are destroying entire relationships, entire families, because they are teaching their members that it is a sin for them to marry outside of their race. And when they say race, they mean anybody who they don't consider to be from one of the tribes of Israel. But they are especially perturbed by the idea of a Hebrew Israelite marrying a white person, whether it's a Hebrew man marrying a white woman or a Hebrew woman marrying a white man. They are against it. But see, the crazy thing is when you really read this Bible, and it doesn't really take that much of investigation, you will see that not only is interracial marriage not a sin, but the entire nation of Israel was created for interracial marriages. That's what I don't understand. For the life of me, I cannot see how the racist Hebrew Israelites can teach day in and day out, oh, you don't supposed to marry outside your race. You're supposed to only marry other Hebrew Israelites. And the whole nation of Israel is a product of nothing but interracial marriages. Not somewhat, nothing but. And when I say nothing but, I don't mean that after Israel became a nation, they just started marrying outside their race. No. I mean the creation of the nation of Israel. How do we know this? Well, Jacob only had 12 sons and one daughter. So how did his sons create the nation of Israel without any other Israelite women? I know you don't think they all had children by their own sister Dinah. No. Every last Hebrew Israelite son of Jacob married outside of their race to produce the tribe of Israel. Then you got some people that may try to argue, well, yeah, they had to do that at first, but once Israel became a nation, that's when God said interracial marriage is a no-no. That is also a lie. And I'm going to take you to the scripture they twist to try to make you think that the God you serve is a racist. And therefore, he doesn't want you marrying outside of your race. The irony of all of this is the Black Hebrews that claim this can't even prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are Hebrew Israelites to begin with. They don't really know. They just strongly believe. None of them can really prove they are from a tribe of Israel. And don't even get me started on that bogus 12-tribe chart. I had a brother debate me on it on this show, and he could not validate that chart. That chart is based on a bunch of theory and stereotypes. That is not how you trace who you are back to a tribe of Israel. And even if that chart was accurate, which it isn't, but even if it was, you still can't use that chart to prove who you are. So that chart is irrelevant. Don't want to hear about it. I already have dissected and destroyed it. Don't want to hear about it. But when it comes to them being against interracial marriages, the black Hebrews, the racist ones, you have to understand that if you are dealing with any topic that is race sensitive, you cannot have a professed racist teach it to you. Why not? Because he is not going to tell you how it is. He's going to tell you how he thinks it should be. You cannot let somebody who's prejudiced teach you about a class concerning being prejudiced. Because he's not going to give you the facts. He's going to teach you what his prejudices have taught him. So when it comes to this topic of is interracial marriage a sin, you cannot listen to somebody who up front tells you, I am what you would call a racist. And yes, we have had people on Sal shows, both as teachers, as part of roundtables, and in debate, who have openly confessed that they are racist. So how in the world can you trust somebody who is a racist to tell you the absolute Bible truth on this matter? They're not going to do it because they have already been blinded by their own personal prejudices and ignorance. So anybody who is telling you, I am a racist, or they are from a Hebrew Israelite camp that teaches interracial marriage is a sin, they are unqualified to present this topic to you. You need somebody who's unbiased, who's neutral, who's going to call it like it is, call it down the middle to teach you this. And that somebody is me. Because I'm not a racist, I'm not prejudiced, I'm not a respecter of persons. If the Bible says something, if that's what it says, that's what absolute Bible truth rolls with. If it doesn't say it, we don't buy it, we don't teach it, we don't promote it. So in order for you to really know if interracial marriage is a sin or not, you need to seek out somebody who is not racist. You have to do that. But Josh, is that just your opinion? Are you saying that this, what you are suggesting, is something that you recommend, or does the Bible also say so? Does the Bible back you up? Yes, the Bible backs me up. Because I'm going to show you what the Bible says about being prejudiced. So what we're going to do first, Abdul, is we're going to turn to Proverbs chapter 28, and we're going to read one verse, verse 21. Because you can't have a racist person teach you about these things. They're not going to tell you the truth. They are blinded when you are prejudiced or racist or biased in any way. Somebody who's biased is not going to call it like it is. They're not going to tell it like it is. So how in the world are you, who are in search of the truth concerning this matter, going to take the word of somebody who's telling you up front? You don't got to figure it out. You don't got to read into it. They're telling you up front before they even go into their spiel that I am prejudiced. How you going to let somebody like that tell you the truth concerning something? They're not going to tell you the truth. By the very definition of the word prejudice, they're going to tell you what they think and how they feel it should be. So you got to feel mighty stupid to take the word of somebody who tells you, oh, I'm a racist. And then you're going to let them teach you about whether interracial marriage is a sin or not. Not even thinking to yourself for 1 minute that it was a sin to them before they even opened up the Bible. Before they investigated anything, it was already a sin to them because they already hated white people, or they hated black people, or they hated anybody outside of their race. I'm going to show you that that's all a lie. Not only is interracial marriage not a sin, but some of the most prominent figures in the Bible married outside of their race. They all did it, sisters and brothers, but you're going to tell me it's a sin. We're going to clear up some of the scriptures they like to go to try to make you think God is discriminating against race when it comes to marriage. Has nothing to do with it. But first, Proverbs 28, verse 21. Go ahead and read.
To have respect of a person is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress.
Now look what it said. To have respect of persons is not good. For, which means because for a piece of bread, that man will transgress. So whatever this respect of persons thing is, the Bible is telling you that somebody who is like that will transgress for something as minute as a piece of bread. In other words, it don't take much for somebody who is a respecter of persons to sin. And lying is a sin. Deception is a sin. But what does it mean to have respecter of persons? A lot of black Hebrews don't even know what that means, because if they did, they wouldn't be racist. You cannot know what this means. Or either you do know what it means and you're deliberately lying to the people anyway. And that is a scenario too. Because remember, when you are prejudiced, when you are racist, you're going to do anything that supports your racial views. It doesn't even matter if you have to lie, steal, or kill to do it. But what does it mean to be a respecter of persons? What we're going to do is go to other translations of the Bible and see what it means. I could tell you, and you can look it up. But I'm going to go to these other translations, and you can look it up to prove to you that this is what this means. First, we're going to go to the NIV, and I got it, Abdul. We're going to read the same thing. This is the New International Version. This is Proverbs 28 and 21. And it says, to show partiality is not good. Yet a man will do wrong for a piece of bread. Notice that respect of a person means to show partiality. And that means being partial. And we're going to look up what that means. Right? This is the New Living Translation. Proverbs 28 and 21. Look what it says. Showing partiality is never good. Yet some will do wrong for something as small as a piece of bread. And the context of this suggests that the wrongdoing is related to showing partiality. We're going to read the same thing. New American Standard Bible, Proverbs 28 and 21. And it reads, to show partiality is not good. Because for a piece of bread, a man will transgress. That means for a small thing, it doesn't take much. That's what that means. So notice that the recurring word in all three of these alternate translations is the word partiality, which means to be partial. So now we're going to look up what that means, because people just simply don't know this. That's the reason why it's so easy for these racist black Hebrew camps to gain momentum, because they are playing on your ignorance. They know you don't know what these words mean or what they are referring to. They know that. I don't even think a lot of them even know what they mean. And they use your ignorance and your own prejudice that they sometimes stir up in you to make you believe that interracial marriage is a sin. But that's just not true, sisters and brothers. Nowhere in the Bible can you read that God restricted marriages based on race. But what you can read is that God restricted marriages based on religion, based on how you worship, based on what you believe in. You can read that. And that's what they take you to, and they try to make you think it's talking about race, and it isn't. But first, we're going to go to my favorite dictionary, because it's old. This is the Webster New World Dictionary of the American Language, 1969 edition. And we're going to look up the word partial, because that's what partiality means. It means to be partial, right? This is 542. So they just simply don't explain these things to you. They just don't do it. Now, this is the word partial. Now, listen to this. Definition 1, favoring one person, faction, etc., more than another, like being partial toward that. But look what else it says. Biased, prejudiced. Whoa. So what this is saying in Proverbs 28 and 21 is to be prejudiced is not good. For a prejudiced man will transgress for something as small as a piece of bread. And the last time I checked, a lot of people following you and you having them a part of your group and you're getting their money, that's bigger than a piece of bread. So if a prejudiced man will sin for something as small as a piece of bread, you don't think a prejudiced man will come on Debate Talk for you and lie to thousands of people to gain their trust and their following? Come on, sisters and brothers, get with me now. He'll sin, a prejudiced man, a biased man, will sin for a piece of bread. And we have had people come on Sal's show and confess, I am a racist, I am prejudiced toward the white man. But what did your Bible just say? And I'm going to show you that racism is a form of prejudice. We're going to look that up. Now, we're going to go to another dictionary because I like to use multiple sources. We're going to the Webster's New Explorer College Dictionary. And we're looking up the word racism. And somebody who adheres to racism is a racist, right? We already read that it's wrong to be prejudiced. A prejudiced person will sin for a piece of bread, for something that small. So what will they do for something bigger? This is racism. Look what it says. Definition 1. Belief that certain races of people are by birth and nature superior to others. That's racism. And yes, we've heard that on Debate Talk from you from racist black Hebrews. But it ain't just racist black Hebrews, there's also racist white folks that teach this too. But you know what? You don't see too many white people on social media who follow Debate Talk for you arguing about this. It's always these black Hebrews and these conscious groups, these African conscious groups, trying to make you think that your Bible is telling you interracial marriage is a sin. But look what else. Definition 2 of racism: discrimination or prejudice based on race. So there you have it, sisters and brothers. Being a respected person means being prejudiced in any shape, form, or fashion for any reason. And racism is a form of prejudice. It's a prejudice based on race. What we have to understand is that all racism is prejudice, but all prejudice is not racism. Racism is a form of prejudice, but it's not the only form of prejudice. You can be prejudiced against somebody because of gender. You can be prejudiced against somebody because of religion. You can be prejudiced against somebody because of where they're from. You can be the same race and everything, but because of where they're from, you're prejudiced against them. All of those things have nothing to do with race. But racism is a prejudice based on race. So if anybody tells you that interracial marriage is a sin and the Bible does not support that, which it doesn't, we're going to show you that, then that means that they are falling into the category of Proverbs 28 and 21, which means to be prejudiced is not good. And since racism is a form of prejudice, this can also read, to be racist is not good. Because for a piece of bread, that man will sin. How can you believe somebody telling you up front that they are prejudiced, but they ain't going to sin? They ain't going to lie to you. They're going to tell it like it is. I don't think so. Your own Bible tells you that. This is why I said that you cannot trust somebody who is telling you up front that they are a racist to teach you this topic correctly. They can't be trusted. They are unqualified. Because they're going to be blinded by their own hate and ignorance. Because that's what prejudice is. It means to prejudge somebody. When you prejudge somebody, that means you are already judging them before. Pre means before. Before you know anything about them. And in this case, you're doing it based off of race. Hey, I don't know this white guy. I don't know this white woman. But because they're white, I don't like them. I just judged them before I knew anything about them. Prejudice, prejudging based off of race. The Bible in the King James simply words as respect of persons. When you read about respect of persons in your Bible, it's talking about all kinds of prejudice. That's why it even tells you in the Bible you can't show respect to persons when it comes to the foreigners among the Hebrew Israelites. That means you can't be prejudiced towards them because they're not Hebrew Israelites. That's a form of racism. See, they don't teach you these things. They just dive in the Bible. See, we're supposed to not marry outside of Israel. You guys are liars. Every last one of you who teach that. And you're hypocrites too. Because you're going to say that interracial marriage is a sin and you are the product of interracial marriages. A lot of brothers today is the product of interracial marriages. You follow what I'm saying? Or the product of interracial marriage, but teaching interracial marriage is a sin. It means you're not supposed to be here then. Don't kill yourself. You are a mistake of nature. You are not meant to be. If you really feel that way, I don't see anybody jumping off no bridges. I don't read about anybody hanging themselves. Oh, I just found out that I'm not really supposed to be here because my dad married a white woman. I need to go kill myself. Because that's what you're telling me. Remember, we read by nature, right? But now, we're going to keep this moving because now we're going to look up the word race because I want y'all to understand how race was defined in the Bible and today. Because this dictionary I got here, my older one, it gives you both modern-day definition and the biblical definition. So we're going back to the Webster's New World Dictionary of the American Language, and we're going to look up the word race. And it's on page 611 in this dictionary. See, they're not going to tell you this stuff. I'm going to tell it to you. I'm not racist. I'm not biased. I'm not prejudiced against no people. So I'm qualified to teach this. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you what it says. If the Bible taught interracial marriage is a sin, then that's what Brother Josh will tell you. But if it doesn't, I'm not. And I don't care if any hardcore racist Hebrew calls me an Uncle Tom or a sellout or whatever. I don't care. I don't care what anybody think about what I teach. All I care about is what the Most High think about what I teach. And I know I teach according to how it is written, not according to my emotion. Because prejudice is also based off of emotion. The Bible says, he that trusts in his own heart is a fool. A lot of people just interpret that to mean you trust in your own mind or your own way of thinking, and that's correct. But a lot of folks also fail to realize that the Bible also compares the heart to emotion. Now, we said, love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul. That's relating your heart to emotion. Or it says, thou shalt not hate your neighbor in your heart. Again, relating the heart to emotion. So when it says, he that trusts in his own heart is a fool, that can also mean he that trusts in his own emotion is a fool. And racism is based off of emotion. So you are following somebody who is trusting in their own emotion, not the word of God. Because they hate. And hate is a strong emotion system, brothers. Y'all know that. So the stronger the emotion that fuels the prejudice, then the stronger the prejudice. So now we're going to look up the word race. Page 611. Look what it says. Race. Definition 1. Any of the three major biological divisions of mankind. It's funny too because it said three major, and we're going to see in the Bible that races started becoming divided according to three of Noah's sons, right? So any of the three major biological divisions of mankind distinguished by color of hair and skin, stature, etc. So one of the ways we can instantly recognize somebody of a different race is by color of hair and skin, stature, etc. Stature means like how tall they are. You know, some races have a higher ratio of short people than other races, and vice versa. But that still is not a guaranteed way to determine somebody's race, because there are a lot of people who might look a certain way, but you actually do a family tree or research their family tree, and you'll find out they're not actually the same race as you are. But this is a common way for us to distinguish one race from another, right? Color of hair, color of skin, height-wise, you know, these are usually red flags. Now, this is definition 2, and this is the biblical definition, right? Any geographical, that means where you're located, national, that means relating to your nation, or tribal, that means relating to your tribe. Tribal ethnic, that means your tribe determines your race, tribal ethnic grouping. You follow what I'm saying? So let me read that again. Any geographical, national, or tribal ethnic grouping. That means you are grouped according to your tribe, which is your ethnicity or your race. Because ethnicity and race means the same thing. And this is how the Bible determines race, according to tribe. And if those tribes gathered together and formed the nation, then your race was determined based on tribe and or nation. See, a lot of people don't get this technical with it. This is how the Bible defines race. You could look at somebody back then and be like, oh, he's probably from he's probably a Gentile. But you could not be absolutely certain unless you search that person's tribal lineage. Then you knew for sure. You can't always go by appearance. But back in the day, when somebody wanted to know what your race is, they just simply ask you, what tribe do you come from? And what happened after a while is that tribes would break up. They would group together, and then they would have offshoots from those tribes, and those tribes will form another nation and other races within that nation, and then they'll do it again and again and again until you got all these different races and ethnic groups running around today. But notice that the dictionary, in the first dictionary definition, told you that any of the three major biological divisions. That means that even science recognized that there was originally, technically speaking, three different races. And all the races on the earth come from them. And I'm going to show you that. Now let's go to the Bible. Let's go to Genesis chapter 10. And we're going to read one verse, then we're going to skip. Because a lot of folks don't even know what defines race and their races. You don't even know what defines race and your races. I can't stand him, said the black man. Why? Because he's white. Look at him. Blonde hair, blue eyes, light skin. I don't like him. And then you trace his family tree, and it turns out that he actually, on his daddy's side, got black people that originate where he came from. He just looks like that because somewhere in the world, somebody married a white person in his family, and y'all know that black people got dominant genes, but at the same time, a black man can marry a white woman or vice versa, and the baby can come out looking completely white. You wouldn't even be able to tell that they got black parentage. Y'all know that. There were times during times of slavery and during times of discrimination where this was the case, and a lot of people who were actually black were thought to be white people, and because the conditions for white people were much better, they would just go live with the white people, pretending that they were white. They called it passing. Like, I'm just passing, bro. In other words, passing for a white person. And it was all good until that white man slept with that seemingly white woman, and then that recessive gene that did not appear in that seemingly white woman skipped her generation and came out in that baby, and now you got a baby looking like a black guy. So the first thing that white man gonna think is, you've been messing around on me. Now you end up hanging from a tall oak tree. See, that happens a lot of times. So you can't always go by appearance. You follow what I'm saying? I got a niece right now. My older brother, we don't have the same father. But his father is half white, which means his grandfather is completely white. But my older brother does not look like he has any white or Caucasian blood at all. He's like a normal black guy. He's brown-skinned, but he's like a normal black guy. You cannot look at him and tell that he is a quarter white. But what's even more peculiar is one of his daughters came out looking like a straight white girl. And the woman he married was a regular black woman. So you can't be like, well, maybe she was light-skinned. No, this girl came out with sandy blonde hair and blue eyes. She could easily pass a white girl. But if you look at her parents, you never suspect that. What happened? You have what you call a recessive gene. That means that you have the ability to produce children that look like that, though you yourself don't look like that. That's why you can't always go by appearance. You have to go by that tribe. You got to trace that tribe back. Okay, I see this is what you really are. Despite what you look like, this is what you really are. And even the racist black Hebrews recognize and understand this. I've heard them say it. So I'm not pretending like I'm the first person to bring this to y'all. They know this too. They know you can't go by appearance. They know that. I've heard them say it. So this is Genesis chapter 10, and I want you to read verse 1. Go ahead.
Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were the sons born after the flood.
Now notice that Shem, Ham, and Japheth. If you know your Bible, after the flood, these are the three people, sons of Noah and their wives, who repopulated the earth. And notice it's three of them. So if it's three of them, that's your three major biological divisions. See, even science agrees with this. Even they know that originally three people started all these different races. But how are races divided? We've seen it in the dictionary, and we're going to see it in the Bible. It's according to where you are, what nation you were born in originally, and your tribe. That's what your race was based off of. Those three things combined, and sometimes, depending on what happened, one of those things individually. But strictly speaking, if you came from one of these three sons, and then one of their descendants started a nation somewhere, and you are born as a direct result of that, then that's what your race was. And I'm going to show you that. But now, let's skip down and read verses 31 and 32. Go ahead.
These are the sons of Shem, after their families and after their tongues in the lands and after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations and their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood.
Now look what it said. These are the families of the sons of Noah. If you read this whole chapter, chapter 10, it'll show you the name of each of these sons and, in some cases, the cities they established, right? But it said, these are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So the first thing we have to realize is that race division is not a product of man. It is a product of God. And when I say race division, I don't mean racial separation. There's a difference. Race division just simply means I'm one race and you're another. Racial separation means we are to stay divided out of race. There's a difference. Why am I bringing this up? Because I have seen some white pastors try to split this. No, that's not what that means. But it says after their families. These are the families. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Strong Concordance, and we're going to look up the word translated families in this verse. And it is 4940 in the Hebrew section, and I got it, Abdul. 4940 in the Hebrew section, the word translated families. And the word is mishpachah. Mishpachah. Look what it means. Family. That is circle of relatives. That's the immediate definition. Like you come out your family, that's like your brothers, your sister, your mom, and your dad. That's your immediate family. That's the immediate definition, or first definition. It says figuratively a class of persons, a species of animals, like the animal class or the animal family, right? Or a sort of thing. And then listen to this. By extension, a tribe or people. So notice that one of the words that can be translated family is tribe. This could say these are the tribes of the sons of Noah. And that would be appropriate because every time you read in the Bible, when it starts establishing where somebody is from, when it says their people or their family, it always at some point takes you back to that tribal division. Always. Even if it doesn't take you there, you got enough information to know. Like if you read in the Bible and it says somebody's a Benjamite, you already know that takes you back to the tribe of Benjamin. If somebody says they are an Edomite, you already know that takes you back to the tribe of Edom or Esau. You know that. It's all about tribes, sisters and brothers. That's how you determine race, based off of your tribe or the ancestry of your tribe. This is why Israel was called Israelites. But then you got tribal divisions within that. Because you could be in all Israelites, all Hebrews were Israelites, right? But not all Hebrews were Benjamites. Not all Hebrews were Levites, right? But all of them by race were Israelites. And because they had the same forefather, Jacob, they could call all of themselves Israelites. But even when things got bad between the tribes, like when the kingdom of Israel split when Solomon sinned, they started looking at each other as being separate nations or races, which is why it was so easy for them to fight against each other. They didn't consider themselves the same people when that animosity was going down. Hey, you are the southern kingdom of Judah. We are the northern kingdom of Ephraim. And the prophets had to step in sometimes like, you were brothers. You don't need to be fighting each other. But they didn't see it like that. Hey, you're not from my tribe. Even though we got the same forefather, you're not from my tribe. It used to happen also with the Midianites and the Edomites. They didn't be fighting each other. But they got the same forefather, Abraham. Same thing with the Ishmaelites. They got the same forefather, Abraham. But all of these nations are fighting against each other because, like I said, tribes break off and then start other tribes or other races, and now they ain't looking at it like we got the same Hebrew forefather. They're looking at the most recent division, which is Edom and Ishmael. We're only going to go back as far as that. But if they take it all the way back to Abraham, then you'll say, really, we're brothers. But then if you take it all the way back to Shem, then that includes before you go back to Shem, if you just go back to Abraham, that includes Israel. So all of those are the Shemitic tribes. Okay, so let's leave out the Africans then. But then if you go back to Noah, they make all of us sons of Noah. And then if you go all the way back to Adam, they make all of us sons of Adam. So if you really want to get technical, there's only one race, the human race. But all of these tribes separated. Then more tribes separated after that. And more tribes separated after that. And that's how you determine your race, through your tribe. Why am I showing all of y'all this stuff? Because you have to understand this before you can even ask the question, is interracial marriage a sin? You don't even know what a race is to begin with. A lot of you. So now we see when it says families, it can also mean tribes, and that's how it was determined. Now, let's move on. Let's go through some of the places they try to make you think that God is a racist and therefore is against interracial marriages. Let's go to Exodus 34 and verse 11. We have to understand these things, sisters and brothers, and they're not telling you this. They're destroying entire relationships, families, and households because they got somebody believing that they're not supposed to marry a white woman. Or they got some white woman feeling like she's some mistake of nature or inferior creation of God. You can't read that anywhere in the Bible. You can't read anywhere in the Bible that anything in God's creation was not meant to be except for those giants that you read about that's a result of the sons of God and the daughters of men. But if you came out of one of Noah's sons, and you were not a mistake of nature, if you came out of one of Noah's sons, you were not doomed to damnation or slavery because of that simple fact alone. They tell people that stuff. That's racism. That is not truth. Keep telling y'all, if somebody tells you up front that they are a racist, avoid them when it comes to them trying to teach you about these things. They're not going to tell you the truth. A racist is only going to teach his racist views. He's not going to tell you what this Bible says. You can't trust them to do that. That would be like you being back in the days of racial discrimination as a black man, and they give you the choice of who you want to pick to be a jury of your peers. And you go to the most racist state in America and start picking out white folks from among them. You're not going to do that. That's stupid. What are you trying to do? Kill yourself? That's what everybody else would think. So what are you going to do if you want a fair trial? Somebody who's going to only look at the evidence and let that determine your guilt or your innocence. What are you going to do? You're going to go to some unbiased people and let them judge. Because you have faith that they're going to judge fairly, and you have faith that you have enough evidence to show your innocence. That's what you're going to do. These people want to tell you that, hey, I'm going to tell you this, but I'm letting you know right up front that I'm racist. They tell you you can pick the judge. The judge tells you, hey, I'll be more than happy to preside over this case, but I'm letting you know right up front, I can't stand niggers. He said that right up front. He tells you that. And then the jury say the same thing. Are you going to pick them to preside over your case? Or to determine it? No. You're not going to do that. So why would you pick somebody who is a professed racist to teach you the truth about what the Bible says about racism? They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to go by their racist views, and they're going to say that's what it is. We have to start thinking, sisters and brothers. We got to stop acting like naive children. I want to know the truth. I want an unbiased view. A lot of people got mad at me because I did that segment with Rahim Ali about if Jesus is God. But what they don't know is that the reason why Rahim Ali selected me to do that particular segment with him is because he said, Josh, I believe that you're a stand-up guy and you're not going to try to play favorites. You're not going to be prejudiced or biased. You're going to tell it like it is. That's why he asked me to do that. He wasn't being partial. He knows that there are people out there that's going to teach based on their own prejudices and ignorance. He knew when it came to me that wasn't going to be the case. Combined with the fact that, I got the understanding to prove it too. These are the kind of people you should be looking for when it comes to these particular topics, these racially sensitive topics. You don't go to a racist to get understanding on racism or what the Bible says about it. You don't go to them. Because no matter what they see, all they're going to see is, don't you marry them white folks or don't you marry them black folks. That's all you're going to get out of that conversation. And so they stand up and they lie to you. They come on Debate Talk for You and they lie to you. They go on Facebook and they lie to you. They go on YouTube and upload videos and they lie to you. And we just eat it up because Israel love a lie. We love it. Can't get enough of them lies. But a brother jump up and say, man, this is the truth, right? Oh, he's a sellout. He's an agent. He's an Uncle Tom. He worked for the white man. He's trying to save the white man. I'm not trying to save anybody but my own soul. And I can't do that by lying to you. And I can't help you to find salvation by lying to you. People don't understand. It would be easy for me to have the game on lockdown. I could easily get on Debate Talk for You and tell all you Hebrew Israelites exactly what you want to hear, and my congregation would triple inside of a week. I would get more donations. I would get more money. I would get more support if I just came on here and eloquently told you exactly what I know you want to hear. But I'm not a sellout. I don't care what you think of me personally. Just press 1 and prove me wrong. That's what I want to see. Show me that I'm misinterpreting these scripts. Show me that it's not saying what I say they are saying. Then we can talk about something, man, I don't like you, and start asking all these questions that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. If you disagree with anything I'm saying, go to the very verse I went to, or verses, and explain it. But we're going to move on. Like I said, Exodus, chapter 34. We're going to read verses 11 to 16 to show you this. Go ahead and read, please.
Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be a snare in the midst of thee.
Now let me break this down, because you have to understand that the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites, Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, when you see that "ite" on the end of something, that's implying a tribe. Or, for modern day terms, a race. That's how your Bible defines or lets you see clearly we're talking about a race. So when you see "ite," like Levites, Benjamites, what that means is, roughly translated, tribe of, or pertaining to the tribe of, or people of that tribe. So when you see Canaanite, that means people of the tribe of Canaan. Hittite, people of the tribe of Heth. Perizzite, people of the tribe of, I think, Perez, right? And so on and so forth. But what all of these tribes have in common, and you can read in history that they will fight among themselves sometimes, but what they all have in common is that their forefathers, who first were a part of the three major divisions, is Ham. So all of these are actually Hamites. You follow what I'm saying? Which means you came from Ham. You follow what I'm saying? And if you go back, and here's another thing too, if you keep going back and it starts with one progenitor, just that man and his wife, then when you see Hamite, that don't mean that there's a tribe of Ham that he came from. He started that tribe. So if you say Hamite and you're dealing with going all the way back, that means he's the progenitor of that tribe. And therefore, anybody who comes from him is under the umbrella of being Hamitic. But remember, these tribes broke off and started other tribes. So basically what you're reading here is a bunch of Hamites, who the black Hebrews today would just simply call Africans. And they'll say, God don't like Africans. God hates Africans. No, God don't hate Africans. God hates what wicked African people do. Just like he hates what wicked Israelites do and what wicked white people do. But they don't let you see that. They didn't want to make you think that God just inherently hates every other race but Israelites, which is why they say interracial marriage is a sin. That is a lie, which we're going to expose over and over and over again. But verse 12, go ahead and read that again, please.
Oh, read verse 12 again?
Yes,
all right.
And continue.
Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy all their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves.
It said, but ye shall destroy their altars. Altars is where they made their sacrifices at. Break their images, which means their statues, right? And cut down their groves, which is where they performed their sacrifices at. And sometimes the word groves is translated Ashtaroth, which pertains to a pagan goddess. right? So God is telling Israel, when you get into this land, because God drove these people out, so Israel can inhabit this land, because this is the land that he promised to Abraham and his seed through Isaac and Jacob. Not through Ishmael or Esau, through Isaac and Jacob, right? But he wanted to drive these people out first. He said, but when you get in there, you're going to see their altars that they made for sacrificing to their gods. Destroy them. Break them down. Don't make a covenant with them, which means an agreement. Don't compromise. Don't come to an understanding with these people concerning worship. Don't do that. My God is the only God I'm going to worship. You got to get up out of here with this false idol worship. That's what God was telling Moses to tell the children of Israel. They got to go. But go ahead and read.
But you shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
Notice from the very beginning, you are reading about God having a problem with their form of worship. We haven't read yet that God just don't like these people because it's these people. We haven't read that yet, but this is one of the places they'll take you to. Notice, if you're honest, so far the only problem you can see God has with these people is them worshiping false gods. And he don't want Israel to do that either. That's the only problem. So how somebody can go here and spin this to mean, oh, it's a race thing. That's a lie. That's not what this is about. And like I said, as we go further and further along, we're going to see that this is not what this is about. Because if it was about race, then there is no way some of the most prominent figures in the Bible would have married outside of their race. There's no way. And God didn't say anything against them. Like, you have sinned. It's always been about religion or belief, sisters and brothers. Keep reading, please.
Lest I make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their gods, and do a sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice.
That's why God didn't want you to make an agreement with these people, because you'll start worshiping their gods, and you will forget the God of Israel. Has nothing to do with, so then the question will arise, well, what happens if these people are willing to worship the God of Israel and forsake their pagan gods? Now you're a thinking man when you ask questions like that. Now you're a thinking woman when you start asking questions like that. And when you start asking questions like that, now you are ready for a teacher like me. But if you don't even ask those questions to begin with, then you need to just stay where you are, because you belong there. You got to always throw that what if in there. Okay, what if these guys want to worship the God of Israel? What if the Canaanite and the Hittites and so on, what if they want to worship the God of Israel? Do they still got to go? We going to see. Because if it was about race, it wouldn't even matter if they worship the God of Israel. He still don't want nothing to do with them. But if it's about religion, and you're willing to give up those false gods, then sure, you can worship the God of Israel. Heck, you can even marry my people. And I'm going to show you that. And that's exactly what your Bible says. What these people are doing are taking you to verses like this, and another one we're going to go to. And they got others that are similar to them. And they'll take you there and try to make you think that your God is a racist. That he just don't like these people. It was their gods. So how do I prove to you, the debate talk for you audience, that it was all about their gods? Simple. After I show you that, all I got to do is just show you that people were marrying these folks once they came over to the God of Israel. That's the end of the debate. Let's go have lunch. There's nothing else to argue about. Because at this point, if you still want to argue, you're not arguing the truth. You're arguing your prejudiced views, and I don't want to hear them. They don't mean anything to me. I don't care about your personal opinion or your personal feelings. I got too many people who want to call the debate talk you because I don't step on their toes in the area of their personal feelings. They want to call me and chew me out. But they don't want to call me and say, you know what, man, the Bible do say that, it was based off their religion. And you have thoroughly proved that Israelites were marrying outside of their tribes to people who were willing to serve the God of Israel. So I just got to just eat that. That's what I always say. You just got to eat that and then stand corrected, repent, keep it moving. But they don't want to do that. They want to continue to hate. I'm not here to try to change your hate. That's on the Most High got to remove off of you. Brother Josh can't take that off of you. Too strong of a spirit. The Most High got to do that. But what I can do is show you the error of your ways. And if you continue to teach that interracial marriage is a sin, though I have shown you the truth, now you condemn your own soul to hell because you're openly and deliberately teaching against the word of God. And everybody who knows it and follows you, they're going to go to hell right behind you. But read verse 15, please.
And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods.
Now this is where the interracial marriage comes to play. Because these tribes that we're reading about, as I explained to you earlier, are of a different race. They were considered to be a different race from Israel. These are Hamitic tribes. Israel were Shemitic or Semitic tribes, and more specifically, Israelite tribes. Because this is as far back as Israel went, as far as establishing who they were related to and who they were. They didn't go back to Abraham, because if they went back to Abraham, then in the law where it says you can't set anybody to be a king over you who is not of your brother, then that would have also included them to be able to allow an Ishmaelite, a Midianite, or an Edomite to be king over them. But they knew it did not mean that. They knew when it said brother, it went back as far as Jacob. That means anybody who did not come out of Jacob cannot be set up as king over you. This is a problem that the Muslims don't understand. If they understood how race and tribes were established, then they will understand when it talks about in Deuteronomy 18, a prophet like unto Moses from among your brothers. They don't know how far back or how far out that term extended as far as tribe is concerned. If they knew that, they would understand that there's no way that prophet could be anybody outside the tribe of Israel. So you got people who don't understand these divisions and these separations. And they go into the Bible and they read brother. See, Ishmael is the brother of Israel. They're related to the children of Israel through Abraham. That is correct. So is Esau. The Bible even tells you that Edom is your brother. That is correct. You can read that several times in the Bible. In the prophets, Ishmael and Edom are the brothers of Israel. But are they from the tribe of Israel? No. So when you read the Bible, you have to figure out when it says brother, does it mean extended family because we have a common ancestor? Or does it mean you got to be a part of my tribe? See, we got to know these things before we even begin to ask the question, is interracial marriage a sin? But now, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. This is how we get down to absolute Bible truth. I know some of y'all probably sitting back like, why does brother get so technical with this? You got to. You have to. Because I know I'm dealing with a bunch of ignorant, hard-headed, prejudiced people. So I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning and walk you all the way through this, so by the time I arrive at my point, you will be fully informed. That's the reason why a lot of folks who be on the switchboard at the beginning of the class be gone by the time I get to the middle. You know why? Because their question just got answered. Oh, I was just about to ask them that. I don't have brothers call in and say that on the day talk for you. Well, you just answered my question. You know what I mean? Folks don't get it on my show. I'm walking you through this so y'all can understand this. So nobody won't be able to trick you. This is Deuteronomy 7. We're going to read verses 1 to 4. Deuteronomy 7, verses 1 to 4. Okay, go ahead and read.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest, and possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, seven nations greater and mightier than thou.
Notice that 7 nations, right? It called them nations. But at the same time, you know, when they have that "ite" on the end of the name, that means of that tribe or the people of that tribe. But it called them nations. This is letting you know that sometimes the word nation and tribe is interchangeable. How do you know this? How many times have you heard a black Hebrew say, "We from the tribe of Israel"? And then in the same lesson say, "We are the nation of Israel." Even they know that. They know it's interchangeable. And you can see in the Bible where God calls Israel a nation, and then sometimes he calls them just the children of Israel. Then sometimes he says the tribes of Israel. Sometimes you can read in the Bible where it says the children of Canaan. Then it says the tribe of Canaan. Then it says the Canaanites. All of these terms and phrases are interchangeable. But it's telling you when you come into these nations, because I'm going to give you the land of these 7 nations, the land of Canaan, right? Go ahead and read.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Now let's stop here. Because look, okay. It says, now this is where they will go. This is their bread and butter. They say, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. I mean, you can't let your sons marry their daughters, and you can't let your daughters marry their sons. Now, if you stop this on the surface, right, it will seem that God don't want the tribe or the race of Israel marrying outside the race of Israel. But is this the same, or does God have a reason behind this? And like I said, if we show you that it has nothing to do with race, then the intelligent people will ask the question, what if the people from these tribes were willing to worship the same God as Israel? Would it be permissible for them to let their sons and daughters intermingle with ours? Would it be permissible then? And like I said, when you start asking questions like that, or you start thinking questions like that, you are now ready for absolute Bible truth. But if you still want to stay stuck on stupid and be like, well, no, it's about their race, then don't even bother calling me and talking to me, because I'm going to show you the truth. Now read the next verse to show you why God did not want us to do this, or want them to do this. Go ahead and read.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, and they may serve other gods, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
It said, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, the gods of these nations. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Anybody who's honest can see that the problem God had with these other nations is that they served other gods. It had nothing to do with their race. Their race was only incidental. Incidentally, they happened to be of other tribes. But it was not the reason. It was about belief. Is God prejudiced against people because of their race? No. But God is definitely prejudiced against people because of their belief, if that belief leads them away from him. And that's what we're looking at here. We're not looking at interracial marriages. We're looking at interreligious marriages. That's what God is against. He's not against interracial. He's against interreligion, which means the combining or the acceptance of one religion with another. In other words, God did not want Israel intermarrying with unbelievers. That's what you're reading here, sisters and brothers. Has nothing to do with race or tribe or nation. And I'm going to prove that to you over and over and over and over again until you just get tired of hearing it and hang up or get offline. But let's continue to prove that. Let's go to Ezra chapter 9, because that'll take you here too. I know the racist Hebrews sitting at home saying, man, he's just going to all the places I was thinking about going to when I called in. I'm not going to run from it. I know what it says. It's also in Nehemiah, just in case somebody was thinking about going to Nehemiah. Same story in Nehemiah I'm about to read. Ezra chapter 9. I keep telling y'all, man, y'all better stop listening to these novices, these amateurs, proclaiming to be great teachers. All they're doing is just repeating some lie that some even more foolish elder taught them. And then when they run the guys out, they don't know what to do, so they get mad. And they want to call me all kinds of names. They got you getting off of debate talk for you, leaving debate talk for you, mad at me, your brother, for telling you the truth. Got you cursing me under your breath because I'm telling you the truth. You go home and you sit down or you hang up the phone, you mad at me, your brother, for telling you the truth, when you should be mad at the guy that lied to you and destroyed your family. Because some of y'all sitting out there have destroyed your own families based off of this interracial marriage being a sin doctrine. A lot of y'all have cursed out your own mothers because of this interracial marriage being a sin doctrine. And I'm supposed to just stand by and watch my people destroy their entire families and households when all I have to do is show them the truth on this matter and make it stop? I'm not going to stand by and let these people keep lying to y'all. I love y'all too much to let that happen. See, that's the difference between me and a lot of them. They teach for the love of the glory and the attention. I teach for the love of the people. That's why they call me the people's teacher, because I'm in this for y'all. I'm not doing this for me. I don't come on debate talk for you for me. I could just say, Sal, you know what I'm saying, your people, you know, God bless them, but I'm just going to stay in my little corner and just teach ABT people only. And anybody who want to come to ABT, you know, they welcome. But I come on debate talk for you, too, because I know it's a wider audience and a lot of people need to hear this message because social media got a lot of y'all jacked up. Truth be told, a lot of y'all just need to delete y'all Facebook accounts and just study the word. A lot of y'all need to stay off of Facebook, because that's destroying a lot of y'all minds. Some folks in 15, 30 groups give 30 different interpretations of one verse. Don't know what to believe. That's why a lot of brothers at ABT, they just, you know what, I ain't going on Facebook no more. They deleted their account, or they just going on there. And I was never on Facebook. My picture ain't even on Facebook. The only thing that's on Facebook is stuff pertaining to absolute Bible truth and the ministry. That is it. Ain't nothing on there about me personally, because I don't go on Facebook for that. You got a lot of folks who want to friend you on Facebook. You want to friend me on Facebook, right? I got over 1,000 friends on Facebook under the name of Absolute Bible Truth. Over 1,000. So anybody who befriends me on Facebook would have to do so under the notion as pertaining to being interested in what we have to say about the Bible. Because ain't nothing on there about me personally. So you can't say, well, I just befriend him because I just want to get to know Josh on a personal level. You can't say that because there's nothing about that there. So why would you befriend me on Facebook if I only have a ministry page? Because I can only assume because you're interested in the ministry. Well, if that's the case, how come I got only over 1,000 friends on Facebook, but only about 60 or 70 people on average show up to class? Because they ain't interested in the ministry. They just interested in somebody accepting their friendship so they can get their friend status up high. You follow what I'm saying? See, y'all got to think about stuff like this if you got a page designed for that purpose. The amount of people should generally reflect the amount of attendance you have in your study. So if I got over 1,000 friends on a ministry page, then I should have close to 1,000 people showing up on Blog Talk. But I don't even got a percentage of that. A small percentage of that. But it's just something I want to throw out there to y'all so y'all can see that social media is a bunch of bull. Folks ain't really on there trying to learn or pursue anything, or it will be reflected in their actions. You follow what I'm saying? You can't depend on social media to educate you. You ain't going to get no justice on social media. You're not going to get neutrality. You're not going to get unbiasedness on social media. You're not going to get that. You're going to get a bunch of narrow-minded and racial perspectives for the most part. You don't have a few people on there telling the truth, but they're going to get drowned out by all the bull. So why go through all of that when you can just go straight to a place? They're going to give it to you straight from the beginning. Right? So this right here is Ezra chapter 9. And after we read this one, Sal, I want to open up the mic because, you know, I love dealing with the people. Ezra chapter 9. Ooh, boy, that line right there sounds like it just woke up. You know what I'm saying? Ezra chapter 9, verses 1 and 2. And the first thing you can do is awaken a sleeping lion. You don't want to do that. They usually wake up hungry. Ezra chapter 9, verses 1 and 2. Go ahead and read.
Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Ammonites and the Moabites and the Moabites, the Egyptians and the Amorites. For they
Notice
have
that
taken...
hold on one second. Notice this is generally the same list of people that we've been reading about. All of these tribes are, for the most part, Hamites, except for Moabites, because the Moabites come from Abraham's nephew, Lot. Y'all know the story of Lot after Sodom and Gomorrah. Him and his daughters fled, his 2 virgin daughters, and they, thinking the whole world had been destroyed, not just Sodom and Gomorrah, thought they had to repopulate the earth, which is why on 2 separate nights, both of them got their father drunk and slept with him and got impregnated by him. And one of them had a child named Moab, which is where the Moabites come from. And they'll take you to the law where it says the Moabites shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation. So they reason within themselves and say, well, there's no way Ruth could have been a Moabite because it said a Moabite can't enter the congregation of the Lord. Not even understanding that the congregation of the Lord is something entirely different from just being among Israel. But that's another lesson. I ain't getting into that tonight, because that's another lesson within itself. But I'm going to prove to you tonight that Ruth was most definitely not a Hebrew Israelite. She was not a Hebrew Israelite living in Moab and became a Moabite that way, because you can gain the name of another nation by becoming a legal resident of that nation. In other words, Israel, an Israelite, could become a Canaanite if they became a resident of Canaan before God, drove the Canaanites out. Or a Canaanite can become an Israelite if he became a resident of Israel. And, of course, he would have to worship the God of Israel. It wasn't enough for you just to live among them. You weren't allowed to live among Israel and worship another God. If somebody from another nation wanted to live among Israel, they had to worship the God of Israel, or they would die or get kicked out of the land. Okay, so notice it had Moabites here, and it also names the Egyptians here. The Egyptians were Hamites. They were, the Hebrew word here is Mizraim, or Mizraim, right? Notice it named them too. So if you look at this, the Egyptians were also causing Israel to sin. They were also causing Israel to sin at this time in history. At first it was just the Canaanites, and the Jebusites and the Perizzites when you read about them in Deuteronomy. But by the time you get to Ezra, which is after the Babylonian captivity, right? This is a reformation period. This is the time where Israel is allowed to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. And we all know during a reformation period, which is also known as a recovering period, the worst thing you can do is get caught up in what made you fall in the first place. Anybody who is a member of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, knows this. They will tell you at the AA meetings you don't need to drink at all anymore. Not on occasion, nothing. You are a recovering alcoholic. You are reforming. It's a reformation period for you. This is what Israel was going through. So the last thing they needed was for people to be marrying these other nations and repeating the same sin that got them thrown into captivity in the first place. But again, we still see it has nothing to do with race, because it says the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations. See, notice that the problem always is Israel doing according to their abominations, meaning worshiping their gods. It has nothing to do with the race, ever. It's always the religion. It's always the worship. Every single time. You will never read anywhere in this Bible where God just don't like the other nations because of their race. It's always because of the wickedness they're doing. Sometimes particularly the wickedness they did to Israel. But we're going to read this because I know somebody got this one waiting in the wings and the other one that parallels it in Nehemiah. They're going to throw that up there. No, not if I go to it first. And even if you do go to it first, I will still go to it later and give you the true understanding thereof. But pick it up at verse 2 and continue, please.
And of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and the rulers hath been chief in this trespass.
The hands of the rulers of the people that's supposed to be in charge of Israel, were the main people that were doing this. Which means your leaders were the ones committing these abominations more than anybody. And they're supposed to be the ones standing up saying, don't you marry those other nations, because they're going to turn you away from God. But is it all Israel did? Did they just say, okay, they're going to turn us away from God? We ain't got nothing to do with them. Or did some people join up with Israel and became citizens of Israel and worship the God of Israel and therefore were allowed to marry the sons and daughters of Israel? See, if I show you that, why would anybody argue at that point, Abdul, if I prove that? Why would anybody still argue at that point? I'm not into arguing with people for the sake of arguing. You want to see interracial marriage in the Bible and God approves of it and I show that to you, why are we still going back and forth after that? Or do you really want to know the truth? There ain't no reason to do that. Or do you really want to know the truth? Or do you really just want to keep arguing? Because a lot of people will follow me all over social media and track me down just to pick a pointless debate with me. Because I don't ruffle some feathers, I don't rattle some cages, and now they mad. Now they go follow me everywhere I go, like some kind of internet stalker or something. Like some kind of obscene shadow. I can't shake them. I'm giving up trying. Like, man, this dude just going to follow me everywhere I go. This woman going to call in on every show I'm on. So I'm just going to ignore them. There's no getting through to them. They don't even want to reason with me at this point. They just want to fight me. No time for that. So now, let's skip down. Still in the book of Ezra. Let's see what they end up doing. 12 to 14, please.
Now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that you may be strong and eat the good of the land and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever.
Now look what it says. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, no intermarriages. Right? But what is this based off of? Race or religion? It's based off religion.
Religion.
Like how they worship. It's not based off of race. So to ask the question, is interracial marriage a sin, and take me to scriptures where it's saying that you didn't want them to marry with the other people because of their religion, that's deceptive. Because I'm not asking you about that. The title of this class is Interracial Marriage a Sin, meaning the burden of proof is on you if you believe that. Interracial marriage is a sin. The burden of proof is on you to show me a case in the Bible where it was the race that God had a problem with and not the religion. You have to show that. Don't take me to any of these verses because these verses are saying it's because of their God. Show me where it says, you shall not intermarry with them because they are Hamites or because they are Gentiles. Show me that. That's what I want to see. Don't call in and share this crap because I don't want to see that. That's not what that is saying. Give me what I asked or keep it to yourself. That's what I'm looking for. It said, don't seek their peace. In other words, don't try to make peace with them. Or their wealth. That means their material gain. You know what I mean? Forever. Meaning for the rest of your life. As long as the Israelites exist. Don't do it. That ye may be strong and eat the good of the land and leave for an inheritance to your children forever. Because these people would come in between that by you worshiping their God. But read verse 13. Go ahead and read.
And after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that our God has punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and has given us such deliverance as this.
Mm-hmm.
Should we again break thy commandments and join in affinity with the people of these abominations? Wouldst not thou be angry with us till thou hadst consumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping?
See, that's the thing about it. God said, don't join with the people of this land in their abominations. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. This is what they're trying to tell them. That's what Ezra is trying to tell them. Nehemiah was trying to tell them the same thing. Don't do this. They're going to cause you to sin. In other words, Israel, don't marry unbelievers. It has nothing to do with their race. Nothing at all. You could even marry back then an unbelieving Israelite. You couldn't do it. Why? Because an unbelieving Israelite usually ended up dead. It says you get the law that even if your son or your daughter or whoever try to tell you to go worship other gods, your hand is supposed to be the first hand to get them to kill them when it's time to stone them. So if you really want to get technical, you couldn't marry an unbelieving Israelite either. Or to marry somebody if they dead. Because that's what happened to unbelievers among Israel within the nation. They found out you were trying to promote other gods. You wound up dead. You can't marry a dead man or a dead woman. See, that's how they got down in ancient Israel. It had nothing to do with race. It was all about worship. But before we get into interracial marriages in the Bible among prominent figures in the Bible, let's go to the switchboard, Sal. Let's see what people got to say.
All right, this is my favorite segment of the show, the public Q&A. That's where you, the listening audience, that's listening on via phone, via Skype, or on social media, can call in with your questions, your comments. All you got to do is dial that number, 646-716-7320. You're now listening to Debate Talk Radio. Today's show is entitled, Is Interracial Marriage a Sin? My special guest is Brother Josh from Absolute Bible Truth. We're going to go to the people now and hear your questions. Again, just dial the number, 646-716-7320. Let's go to the first caller. Let's go to 216-802. You're live on Debate Talk Radio. You're live on air, 216. 216-802. Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to have to go to the next caller. Let's go to 832-292. You're live on air.
Black Jesus Minister, how y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing, Black Jesus Minister?
All right, Brother Josh, feeling you, brother. You're teaching well. You're teaching good there, brother. And I thank God for having another brother who's willing to stand up not for denomination or particular doctrines, but for the doctrine of truth. And I appreciate you, brother. I consider you a cohort because that's supposed to be our denomination, and that is nothing but the absolute Bible truth. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free. On that note, dear brother, I want to add some information to what you've been saying. Yes, you are correct. 100%, yes, you are correct. Interracial marriage is not a sin. It is not a sin. But races are tied to our natural affinity for God. I'm going to say that again. Our race is something that God created and is an indicator of our affinity to believe and to obey and to love God. As human beings, we are humans, and the word human means H-U-E means color, and man means that which was created in the image of God. So we are colored beings. So we have different colors, we have different nationalities, we have different looks. God created this. This is the beauty, this is the rainbow of humanity that together we make up the rainbows, all the different colors of rainbow which make up light. Light is made up of an infinite spectrum of different lights. And without one of those different colors, you would not have light as we know it. The ultimate human being, meaning that hue means color, and color is in reference to all of humanity. As black people, black African people, we are the mothers and fathers of all humanity. All colors come from black. All humanity came from black. And so all of the other races are our children. The part that I want to add to that, in addition to that, to the understanding, is that our melanin and that color, that darker color, gives you a natural affinity to God. And what do I mean by that? And that can be seen when you go back to Genesis 10, when God, Genesis 10, Noah and his three sons divided up into three nations along their skin color. And I'm not going to be long-winded. So God did divide the people up between their families and between their nations and between their languages. The nations and families, that's talking about race. And we're still talking about the human family. Now, the darker you are, you have an easier affinity toward the nature of God. The less melanin, the less color you have, the less you have toward natural affinity toward God. Now, to prove that, Genesis 10, when it talks about Japhet, it says that Japhet, by these are the isles of the Gentiles. That is the first time that the word Gentile was ever mentioned in the Bible, and it described the Gentile race, the Gentile nation, to the lineage of Japhet. And one of the definitions of Gentile is not knowing God. Now, I've heard Hebrews say, oh, that just means nations. No, that's hogwash. That's dumminess, okay? Because it says after their nations, after their families, the Gentiles. It didn't say nations twice. Gentile means heathen, uncivilized, not knowing God, all those different things you can look at. Y'all can look that up. But the thing that you have to, and we know that the Gentiles under Japhet are the Europeans. And we know.
Well, brother, let me just jump in right quick for you because I can't let you continue to spread misinformation concerning the origin of the word human. Let me ask you a question, and I'm not putting you on the spot because you put yourself on the spot when you call in. Can you provide the source that tells you that human is related to the word hue? What dictionary, encyclopedia, or historical source, because I have the real origin of the word. I've heard this argument before. Can you provide the source of that? Don't take me to some website where somebody's making the claim. What's the source?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can, brother. I don't have it right now, but I will try to call back. Not call back if you all come back to me, and I'll have that. But let me add this to you real quick, brother. Go to 2 Kings 5, chapter 25 and 26. 2 Kings 5, chapter 25 and 26, talking about Gehazi. Okay, and it says 26 says, and this is where Gehazi was cursed by Elijah the prophet. And he said, to him, with
leprosy, right?
Yeah, he was all right. Now it was a different type of leprosy. I'm gonna prove that to you. It wasn't a regular leprosy that it eats away your body and you die.
Yeah, I know it's the one that turned the skin. Wait a minute, I know it's the one. See, brother, I know what you're doing. What you're doing is you're trying. Wait. You've been talking for a minute.
Ahead.
Now it's my turn.
Go ahead.
It's my turn.
Go ahead.
First of all, just to go back to the beginning, the word human, you're doing a lot of stuff that is commonly ignorant in our community as black people. And it's playing on words. Human has nothing. Let me finish, because you can challenge me if I'm wrong. Human has nothing to do with the word hue and man. What you're doing is you're taking a word in the English language, hue, that sounds similar to human. This is what human means, right? It's mid-15th century. It comes from humane, from Old French humane, of or belonging to man, from Latin humanus, of man, human, right? That's what it means, right? Because it's a Latin word, right? You can't take a Latin word that came many generations later to define something that was said in a Hebrew text earlier in the Bible. You can't do that unless you can trace that word all the way back to this, that, and so on and so on, right? It says, and to humans, humus, earth, or a notion of earthly beings. Here's another one that it says right here. This is another one, because you don't understand this. You can't come on here and play word games with me, bro, and then try to go to 1 Kings where it says Elijah cursed the guy with leprosy. So now that's where I know where you're going with it. So now there's a group of white people around, a race of white people walking around who are descendants of these people. And sorry, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, bro. I can refute that in 5 minutes. That's some bull. But let me go another one. Look, there's another. Human is from the Latin, from the same root as homo, where we get the term like homo erectus, not homosexual, but their root word homo means pertaining to, the same. It says, and is defined pertaining to man. It was first used in the 12th century. Wait a minute. How in the world a word that was first used in the 12th century going to define something that happened all the way back in the Garden of Eden when God first created Adam? The argument is flawed, bro. And you ain't going to come on here and try to use color and say, see, because we got hue, that means we got a more of affinity for God. Bull. More racial bull. Not falling for it. It says Samuel Johnson is listed by the OED as the earliest usage of the word being in relation to human beings. So, Sal, let's go to the next part, because if I'm already showing that his foundation is flawed and he's going to try to go on and on, build off of faulty premises, then that's just another outlet to spread misinformation among the masses. And I'm not going to let that happen on the show that I'm a guest on. So let's go to the next caller, please.
We do have a lot of other callers standing by. Once again, it's Debate Talk for you. If you're listening on social media, on the phone or Skype, the number is 646-716-7320. Simply press the number 1 and we can add you in the conversation. Again, today's show is entitled, Is Interracial Marriage a Sin? Is interracial marriage a sin? Let's go to the people. Let's hear what you guys got to say. By the way, if you call in, there's one thing, if you're not familiar with the show, you got to keep it clean, keep it professional. There's no foul language. You have people listening with their children. So let's go to the next caller. Let's go to 612-695. You're live on air.
Hello?
Hello. You sound kind of far away. You sound far away, brother. Come closer. 612. Okay, sounds a little better. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Perfect. There you go. We can hear you now, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just want to thank you, Brother Josh. I was trying to thank you a couple of weeks ago when you did the show, but I also want to left that message on Facebook. I just want to thank you for saving my relationship, man.
Oh, praise God, man. Give God the glory.
Okay, I definitely will. And I just hope you keep on debating and pushing that truth, because I learned a lot from your debates and how I've been lied to a lot. And thank you.
Praise God. And I just want to, and let me just respond to that too, because you notice, and Abdul is listening too, you notice when I first asked, what's the source of you coming up with human and hue? Oh, I got to get back with you on that. Wait a minute, bro. No. Be instant, which means ready, in season and out of season. And anybody can go online right now. We got thousands of people listening. Just type in any search engine, because I've heard this argument before, the word human. They're going to tell you the same thing. It ain't got nothing to do with no color. You know what I mean? It's pertaining to the earth. You follow what I'm saying? That's why he's trying to say, see, black, always trying to give you some kind of, see, that's racist right there. Trying to get some kind of racial superiority. See, since we got more melanin in our skin, we have an affinity toward God more than anybody else. In other words, the blacker you are, the closer you are to God. That's what he's saying in a nutshell. You follow what I'm saying? Bull. Skin color has nothing to do with it. The Bible says God does not view man as man does. For man looketh at the outward appearance, but God weigheth the heart. Last time I checked, everybody's heart was red and pumped blood. He's looking at your mind. But go on, Sal. I'll go to the next one.
All right, it's all about the people getting answers to their questions. You know that number, 646-716-7320. Let's go to 717-304. You're live on the air.
Hey, Brother Josh, I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate this particular lesson. I feel like it's definitely much needed, especially given what's currently going on in our society. However, I have a question that's not pertaining to the lesson tonight. I've been studying holidays and whether or not to celebrate them, the paganistic rituals and things like that. Now, with Mother's Day right around the corner, I wanted to ask you, Brother Josh, personally, your feelings on whether or not it's okay to celebrate Mother's Day, things like your birthday, things of that nature.
Well, I can tell you like this, and since it don't pertain to the class, I'm not going to go into much detail, but I will give you enough for you to see for yourself, and then you will answer your own question. Go online and look up and just type in any search engine. See, that's why I love we live in the age of information. Because back in the 1800s, it would have took you probably 2 or 3 months to get the answer to this question. You follow what I'm saying? Go online and type in the origin of Mother's Day and the origin of birthdays, like celebrating birthdays, and you will see what you want to find. And then you can call back in right after you do it, and then you'll be able to answer your own question.
Okay, thank you so much.
Praise God.
All right, once again, it's Debate Talk for you. You know that number, 646-716-7320. We're going to the next caller. Let's go to 757-309. You're live on air.
Hi. Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
How you doing?
How are you? You're live on air. How are you?
Well, I'm scared to ask my question. I was calling to say that everyone always say different things about the interracial dating or marriage. I'm not interested in dating outside my race, but I heard that you have to stay inside your tribe. I heard that you couldn't date outside your race. Not that I want to, I'm just confused. Could you explain that to me?
Well, yeah, that's the purpose of tonight's class, that it's not wrong to date outside your race or tribe. It's not wrong to do that. The Bible says it's wrong to date other non-believers, which we're going to show you. That's what you don't want. Now, it's not saying that you have to do it. It's not saying you have to date outside.
No, I date inside my. I like black men, and that's who I date. So, and I'm black. So, but why do everybody always say different things? So, just a lot of confusion. This is my first time ever listening to you, so I don't know. But
okay,
anyway.
well, I can explain that because of an ugly word called prejudice. See, and as I explained in the beginning of this class, when you are prejudiced, prejudice means to prejudge something based off of something that you don't have the facts about. Like if I'm prejudiced against white people, then I've already judged that person a bad person or a filthy person based off of them being white alone. When the Bible even tells you, as we read in Proverbs chapter 28, you're not supposed to be prejudiced in any shape, form, or fashion. If you don't like a white person, it has to be because of something they did to you or some kind of wrong they're doing.
I don't dislike. I don't like racist people after everything that's going on. Isn't Esau the Edomite, a white man, or you said someone else?
No, Edom is not the white man. That's a common misconception.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. It's so much confusion for me, and I don't know because I thought Esau was the white man, and Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning, and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so check this out. All I can tell you to do is keep listening to today's class. And you can join us on Saturdays, every Saturday at 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can dial 646-716-8249, 646-716-8249, and we'll have a study for you every week, and we talk about these things all the time.
All right. Well, thank you.
Praise God.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, we appreciate your call. And again, this show is archived for those who don't know. You can always go back to the website, which is www.blogtalkradio.com/debate talk for you, and click on the show. It's Interracial Marriage is Sin. And matter of fact, all of Brother Josh's information is right here on the description box once you click on the show. But we have some more callers standing by. Again, it's all about the people. Let's hear what you guys got to say. You know that number. Let's go to the next caller. It's 240-731. You're live on air.
What's up, Brother Sal? What's up, Brother Josh? Brother Abdul? Brother KC, student at AT.
Hey, Brother KC, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Hey, just listening in, man. Brother Josh, man, your brothers are bringing that fire. Just destroying all this false doctrine, man. You're breaking the absolute by the truth. Nothing but the truth. Hey, I just wanted to say, man, you brothers just keep on doing what you're doing. And Brother Sal, when I get off this line, man, you got to give the brother a roar, man. Give one flying, Brother KC, and I'm out.
There it is, brother. I appreciate that. And actually, I have an email question over here. And by the way, if you want to email me, it's debatetalkforyou@gmail.com. I guess someone that's familiar with the show. It's from Dawn Clarks. It says, we should stick together as a people, especially in these times. How else are we to preserve our culture? That's the question.
Well, I don't have an answer for that culture because the title of for that question, because the title of the class is Interracial Marriage is Sin. And I'm not going to let somebody take this one question and branch it out to how we need to survive as a people. That's something of a totally different discussion in of itself. All we want to know is it a sin? We're not here to answer the question of, is it to our advantage to marry outside our race or our disadvantage? Would we be hurting our race if we do it or hindering our race? Nothing to do with it. We got to learn to keep it on topic. If you got a question about, is it a sin in the eyes of the God of this Bible, I will happily answer that. But all this stuff about sticking together and striving together as a people, that's not what I'm here to prove. You follow what I'm saying? No disrespect, but that's completely off topic. You follow what I'm saying? And that's more of a subjective question anyway, because a subjective question means it's of a personal opinion. Because depending on who you ask, you're going to get a different answer. Even if the answer is the same, the elaboration on the answer is going to be different. So I'm not here to answer those kind of questions. Not on this show. Go to the next one, Sal, please.
All right, let's go to 615-578. You're live in air.
Peace. Can you hear me?
Loud and
clear.
clear.
Peace. What up, Josh? This is Lex Vortex. How you doing, man?
What's up, Lex Vortex?
Good lesson. I just have a couple of questions, man. And I heard you say that, when going into the land of Canaan and stuff like that, it was basically all religious reasons. My question is, then why, when they went into certain lands, did God command them to kill men, women, children, and babies, and oxen and sheep? I mean, did the babies have a religion? I mean, could not they have took the babies and raised them to worship the God of Israel? If it's not racial, why kill the babies and the animals?
Well, here's the thing too, right? What particular land did God command them to do that to?
Well, one of them was in Amalek. That's one. If you go to first.
Okay, good. That's one. Why did God tell them to do that to Amalek? And not all the other nations. See, you got to know the whole story.
Well, one reason is because Amalek caused them problems when they was coming up out of Egypt.
Exactly. So we can see that it had nothing to do with religion or race with Amalek. It was about driving those people, totally annihilating them. And I can show you in another class that when he said kill women and children and everybody, that still did not mean totally annihilate the race. It still did not totally mean that, because you can see Amalekites around later on after that. You follow what I'm saying? They were still around after that. But that is a totally different topic, because what you're asking me is, why would God do something and it don't even pertain to interracial marriage? If it pertains to interracial marriage, which we both agree it has nothing to do with that, then yeah, I would deal with that. But what you're asking me is, why would God kill babies and all of that stuff?
I asked that because you said it was based all on religion and not race. And so
with Canaan, when they were going into the land of Canaan, this was not about them going into the land of Canaan and setting up their own society. This was not about that. It was about God getting back at the people who had wronged this people greatly when they were trying to make their way into the land. So this is not about interracial marriage. So again, this is another example of somebody taking this discussion into a completely different direction.
No, brother, listen, I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying
I'm not saying you're trying to do that. I'm not saying you're trying to do that, but that's what's going on.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that because, you made a premise. This is all I'm saying, that when you're looking at that.
You misunderstood my premise then you misunderstood my premise. I said God brought the children, let me finish. When God brought the children of Israel into the land of Canaan, right? And these are the scriptures that these people go to try to tell you that interracial marriage is a sin. Nobody goes to the scriptures about the Amalekites to try to say you don't supposed to intermarry with the other nations. Nobody uses that because they don't see that having anything to do with marriage. The title of the class is interracial marriage a sin. God brought the children of Israel into the land of Canaan. And it specifically mentions not marrying with those people. That's what we're talking about here. It ain't got nothing to do with Canaan did something to Israel back in the day, and God is saying, okay, go get them back for what they did. This is a totally different discussion and reason. One reason is you're going into the land, right? When you get to this land, there are people already there. They are worshiping other gods. I don't want you to intermarry with those people because they will make you worship other gods. These are the scriptures people go to try to make you think it's about race. Another scenario, the one you're bringing up, is I remember what the Amalek did to Israel in the way. So what I want you to do is go and completely annihilate those people. Nothing about marriage or not married or giving your sons or your daughters to them is even mentioned. Nobody uses those verses. That's why I say that's a completely different topic. It has nothing to do with marriage.
Yeah, you're right. It has nothing to do with marriage, but it is related to race. That's all I'm saying. Because if I say, okay, these people have done something in the past, and even if I'm going to exact revenge, if it wasn't race related at all, had nothing to do with their bloodline, then I would not say innocent baby that hadn't committed anything. So if I'm killing that baby,
God kills innocent babies all the time. The Bible says death and life is in the hand of God. Every time a baby is born and dies, who's behind that? If death and life is in the power of God, wait a minute. If death and life, do you believe that death and life is in the power of God? Since you want to go in that direction, do you believe that?
Well, no, I want to get into my personal beliefs. I'm just saying.
No. Wait. If you go
you're just
like there, see, Lex, now you want to go. That's what you're doing. You're living up to your name. You're vortexing right now. That's what you're doing. You're vortexing.
No,
that's exactly what you're doing right now. You said he said innocent
Josh,
babies.
I don't want to interrupt your show. Let me just make my premise clear, and then I'll leave you alone. You may think I'm against you because we had our debate and that, but your
premise has nothing to do with
these
what
are
I'm
honest
about,
questions. All right, so the premise you made was that it was all religious and God is not racist. I think that's what you was trying to say. I'm just saying that it is.
Okay, my premise is this: God is not against interracial marriage. That's
but is he
premise.
against? But is he racist in any way?
No, he's not racist in any way.
All right.
No.
So my point. All right. So that's the only reason why I brought that up.
And racist means wait a minute.
Hold on.
What does it mean to be racist? We got to make sure you understand that. What does it mean to be racist?
There's many meanings to be against somebody for whatever ethnic group, tribe, or whatever background they're from.
But right, exactly. But it don't got nothing to do. Wait a minute. But it has nothing to do with anything that person may have done to you or somebody you love. You just don't like them because of that. Does the Bible give a reason for why God wanted to destroy the Amalekites? Does it give a reason?
Yes, but it doesn't give a reason.
Wait. Was it based on race or was it based on what that specific group of people did to Israel?
No, you can't say specific. This is my point. It wasn't based on the
specific. It said the Amalekites. It said, I remember what Amalek did. That's like me saying, that's like Abdul saying, I remember what Lex did to Josh. So now I'm going to go and wait. Let me finish. I'm throwing an example out here because you're getting off the topic.
No, I'm not.
Let me finish.
You won't let me speak, Josh.
Let me finish because you don't have anything to do with this. What I'm saying is, what you're trying to do, Lexi, I see what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is imply that God is a racist. That's what you're trying to do. That has nothing to do with race. Let me finish.
Okay.
The Bible, the racism or racist means you hate those people or have a problem with those people because it is those people. It has nothing to do with anything they may have done to you or anybody or anything you love.
Right.
You just don't like those people. That's what it means to be a racist. If God came to Israel and told Israel, I want you to exterminate the Amalekites just because they are Amalekites, then you would have a valid point, Lex. But that's not what they said. God said, I want you, wait a minute.
All right.
God said the reason why I want you to take these Amalekites out is because what they did to you. They would be like Abdul saying, let's kill Josh. So now I'm going to get back at Lex for what he did to Josh. It has nothing to do with your race, your religion, your background. He wants you dead because you killed me. Now, how you going to try to throw some kind of ethnic reason in there?
All right, the reason why you're wrong about that, because let's say Lex killed Josh and someone says, yeah, I want to kill Lex. But what if Lex is gone and he says, well, I'm going to kill Lex's babies?
Well, that is a view that is reserved for God. See, now you're asking me why God would exterminate. But wait a minute, let me finish.
All right, brother.
You asked the question. Okay, exactly.
Hold on, brother. Can I finish responding to the rest of what you said? That's like saying the same way, they killed a white person, killed Mike Brown, right? So hold on, let me just respond to what. Hold on. Let me just respond to what you said, and I say, we're gonna kill all the white people in Ferguson because of what they did to Mike Brown 20 years ago. If it's 20 years from now, so if we came back and I said we're gonna kill all the Fergusonites that were white because of what they did to Mike Brown, you're saying that is God's mind and that's justice and that's not racial? Would that not be racial? Because every white baby. Hold on, let me just finish the premise.
You asked the question, I'm trying to answer.
But I'm not finished. Let me just finish it up and then I'm done, Josh, and I'm gonna go.
How many questions did you have? Because you asked the question,
it's not more than one.
I got another one.
No, it's not another one.
He says he's gonna finish. Yeah, he says he's gonna finish up. Let him finish up.
Yeah, it's just a continuation. What I'm saying is, part of the question is that because every white baby did not commit that crime, so to associate the babies with that nation would be something racial. But peace, man, it was a good lesson, bro. Peace.
Okay, now let me respond to that, right? It's not racial or racist. The word we're looking for is racist. See, what the brother is doing, he's pertaining the word racial to racist. When the children were killed, they were killed as being a part of a race of people that was associated with trying to knock Israel out. But that still has nothing to do with, one, interracial marriages, which Vortex is trying to vortex that from that. And number two, if you go by that premises, we belong Amalekite, right? One nation of people with one nation of people containing a bunch of babies. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we'll say 2 million babies. You with me, Abdul?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so we got 2 million babies. I'll even take it higher. We'll say 10 million babies, right?
Right.
But what about the flood? How many babies perished in the flood? See,
thousands.
Thousands, try billions.
Yeah, millions. I'm just saying. I'm just going out the general number, but yeah.
Right, in the flood, when God destroyed the whole world, you know what I mean? You don't think there were any babies around then? A baby, thousands upon thousands of babies are being born every day. So when God decides to destroy, you can't try to say, oh, because they were Amalekites, it was a racial thing. Well, what kind of thing was it when he destroyed the whole world? Babies were there too. See, right. That's why I say Lex Vortex, he don't be thinking. He try to turn this into a whole different discussion. The discussion is God against interracial marriage. So what he's trying to do, because, I peeped game a long time ago, he's trying to say, since God is a racist, then yes, he would be against interracial marriage. But I'm not trying to throw off from your class. Dude, I spot to come a mile away. You want me to answer why God told the children of Israel to wipe out the babies too. But this is the same God that made a whole flood come across the whole earth and wiped out even more babies than that then. So if you're going to try to make that be a racial reason, why can't you make that back there be a racial reason? You follow what I'm saying? Let's not play these games. There are many times in the Bible where the children of Israel were doing barbaric stuff like that. But God was punishing that whole nation. And in most cases, in fact, in almost every case, whenever God brings judgment upon a nation, babies suffer. When God brought Nebuchadnezzar to destroy Jerusalem, it says they didn't have mercy on anybody, old or young. If you read in the prophet Hosea, it tells you that the Assyrians were taking pregnant women and ripping out their babies and throwing their babies' heads up against rocks. But I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. When the judgment of God comes on a nation, everybody suffers. It has nothing to do with race. That's just how God operates. So don't try to make it a racial issue, Lex, that's weak, and that's what I expect from you, because that's how you came in our debate. Weak. You try to vortex. You live up to your name. Vortex means a spin or a twist. And you try to put a spin and a twist on stuff and try to spin it into meaning something else when it has nothing to do with that. Racist or racism is based off of race alone. In other words, those people did nothing to you. Then you try to say, that's like we saying that if a black person get back at a whole white race. Well, first of all, I'm not God. Lex, you are not God. Abdul is not God. Sal is not God. God can choose to wipe out whoever he wants to. But if he's telling you he did it because of what somebody did to his people, you can't make the extra leap and say it's because of their race. If it was because of their race, God would have just said wipe out Amalek and they ain't did nothing to Israel. If it was because of their race. So that's weak anyway, bro. I'm going to the next caller.
All right, we're going to take a few more, and after that we're going to, I know Brother Josh's going to bring up some more information. But I have a question here from Wiser Words. It says, according to Ezra 10, verse 14 and 19, when Israel rediscovered the laws, what say you about this chapter? Can you read it?
What about this chapter?
Ezra 10, 14 to 19. It says, when Israel rediscovered the laws, what say you about this chapter?
I already spoke on that chapter. Well, I spoke on Ezra chapter 9 and 10 is right next to it. They're talking about the same thing. It's continuing the same thought. I said it is a reformation period. Israel began to sin by intermingling with the other nations, marrying with them. And God had a problem with that because these nations would drive them away from serving him. which goes back to my original point. It has nothing to do with race. It is about the worship. What I am looking for is for somebody to provide me with scripture that specifically says, and it's funny about Lex Vortex because what he brought up didn't even have anything to do with marriage. You follow what I'm saying? But he's saying he on point, though. Okay, what I'm looking for is for somebody to bring something up where it says, don't marry somebody of another nation because they are of that nation. Ezra chapter 10 is talking about the same thing. Ezra chapter 9 is talking about just continuing that thought about it's a reformation period. They're coming out of Babylonian captivity. I don't want you to make the same mistake that got you thrown into captivity in the first place by intermarrying with these other nations because they will turn you away from me. And they did it too. After Ezra told them to put their strange wives away and even their children with them, they did it. It was harsh, but it was necessary. They did it. God can be very harsh at times, as Lex Vortex himself pointed out. But it is what it is. It has nothing to do with race. And like I said, whenever God brings judgment upon any nation, because to say that God is a racist because he told Israel to kill babies would be like saying God was racist against his own people because God told them that one of the things that they would be going through when he brings judgment upon them was that there were going to be a lot of infanticide. So, again, that's what it is about Ezra chapter 10, a reformation period. Don't intermingle with the other nations because they will cause you to sin against me.
All right, once again, thank to all those people out there that's actually sharing the show on their personal page. See, I have a lot of people sharing it, liking it, and making comments on their page and inside the Facebook groups. Again, if you have any questions or comments, you know the number, 646-716-7320. Simply press number 1, and we can add you in the conversation. All I ask is there's no foul language. Keep it clean, keep it professional. Once you call in, the show is archived as well. If you happen to miss any part of this show, you can always go back to the archives and check it out. Let's take the next call. Let's go to 314-680. You're live on air.
What's going on? Peace, Brother Sal. Peace, Brother Josh. And I believe it was Abdul. I just want to say peace to y'all, man. And Josh, good lesson, man. Bringing out some good information, brother, and keep doing your thing. And I also want to add to that a lot of times when most people want to basically discredit the Bible, and I think you probably already peeped that already, Josh, and that's why you came already, yeah. So that's the whole thing. Is to discredit the Bible, discredit the Most High God, and discredit the Word of God. So for the most part, I want to say this: this is not Judge Mathis. I think that most people take the creator, the judge, as Judge Mathis, to where this person is not omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Mm-hmm. The Most High does not have time to play no games. If he put you in a place eternally, that means he knew that you were going to consistently continue to sin eternally. And he's not going to sit there and play no games with you and say, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it again, God, and then you get out and you do it again like they do in prison. Nah, he doesn't have time to play games with you like that. He already knows. There's nothing too. I did a couple of studying on Kathleen Kenyon when she went into Jericho and she excavated those cities, and she found bones and different things. Those people had plagues among them and diseases, and also had venereal diseases. And the Most High told them to burn all of that stuff, everything that they had. Don't take nothing, because those people were suffering from major plagues in those cities. And these are the plagues that he said that he would bring upon Israel if they got out of pocket and did not obey his instructions. Plagues that was not mentioned in the law that he would bring on them. These were plagues that was in these lands. All types of venereal diseases, all types of stuff they was dealing with. And so when he tell you to slaughter people and you don't do what he say, if you notice when you read the theology of the Bible, when they came back down the line, guess what happened? Those who became thorns in Israel's flesh, and they are and have been that until now and today. So, when he tell you to do what it was best, when he give you some instruction, He knows what's best. That's bottom line. And I think there's too many people that think that they can outthink God or something. You know, but I just wanted to bring out that, brother, and I just want to say you're doing a very excellent job. You know what I'm saying? To keep it up, brother.
Right, I appreciate that. And for the implication that you made against Lex, I know what you're getting at because, I mean, I don't really follow his activity like that, but I know enough about how this brother feels about the Bible in general, and he is not what I would call a believer. So what you have here is an audience that wants to know, is interracial marriage a sin? I assume when you see the title of something and it piques your interest, you're tuning in to see if that's a yes or no to the question put forth. That's what you're trying to see, right? When people like Lex, who really don't believe the Bible, call in and try to take it into another direction, that's all they are about. Now, if you want to get into why God did this, then that's fine. But if it don't particularly pertain to the question of interracial marriage, then I'm not interested in it. Like when a couple of other people called in, what did I tell them to do? I tell you this, sister, go online, look up the origin of this, look on the origin of that, you'll get your answer. Or I'm not going to get into that right now. That's a whole different discussion. We'll deal with that later. Too many people want to call in because they know that what I'm putting forth cannot really be challenged. So they try to put a vortex on it, a spin, a twist, a turn, and they try to take it somewhere else. Now, if it was talking about marriage, even if God said, don't marry any Amalekite because of what they did to you, that is not racist. Racist means to have a problem with a people because of that race. Nobody from that race has ever done anything to you personally or anybody you love personally. Nobody has ever done that. That's what it means to be a racist. If I just say, I don't like white people, and somebody says, what? Is it because of what the white man did to the black man? Okay, that sounds good, but how am I going to blame every single white person in existence, many of which were not even alive when this stuff took place, for something that happened before either of us was born?
Right.
That's racist right there. Now, if I say I don't like this particular white guy, and him only, because he did something bad to me and he keeps doing bad stuff to me, it has nothing to do with his race. I don't like him because he did something to me. But if I go to the next white guy, I'm not going to feel that way about him unless he does the same thing to me. That's how you can tell a racist from a non-racist. A racist hates everybody for what one or a few representatives from that race did. A non-racist just hates the person that wronged them. You follow what I'm saying? But God, the way God works is when God brings judgment on the nation, babies have always been casualties. But at the same time, God creates life and he takes life. See, we sometimes forget that in the end. Now, let me just drop a little knowledge on y'all before we take a few more questions. If you believe, as a believer, that life and death is in the power of God, meaning nobody is born unless God wants it to happen, and nobody dies unless God wants it to happen, then old or young, wouldn't that mean that God kills us all eventually, Abdul?
Yes, it does.
If death and life is in the power of God, then God takes us all out eventually. So you say, why would he kill the babies? That's just, they could have grew up and they could have worshipped him. Well, I can tell you this, the Bible also tells you that babies are considered innocent. So any Amalekite that the Israelites killed as babies instantly going to be in the kingdom. They didn't even have a chance to go up and possibly sin. See, while we're here, we still got the possibility of going to hell. Any baby that dies, the Bible says babies are innocent. Guiltless. That's what it calls them, guiltless. So if you die guiltless, that means no sin at all. Where are you going to go? That's why the Bible always likens the kingdom of heaven to children. You got to receive the kingdom of heaven as a child. A child represents innocence without fault. Every Amalekite baby that was killed by an Israelite never had a chance to grow up in sin. So even in death, barbaric death, God is still showing mercy. Let's be honest now. I want y'all to think about this. You ain't got to answer this, but ask yourself a question. If you could go back to before you were born, and God told you, before I let you be born, I could either let you come into this world and die as soon as you get in here, and you will be in eternal bliss with me. Or I can let you be born, and you can go through a lot of these problems and trials that's in this world and possibly go to hell. Which one would you choose? You know, that's just something to think about. You know, you'll choose the first one. I would too. I'm not saying everybody would, but that's just something to think about. Go to the next caller.
And I got to thank LaRon, because actually LaRon was originally scheduled for this day, Thursday, but once he heard the topic, you know, he definitely said, okay, let Brother Josh, you know, do his lesson. So thanks to you again, LaRon, for, you know, making the way for this lesson to be heard. I appreciate you, my brother. And once again, we're going to go to the... Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, so we're going to go to the next caller. And, again, it's Debate Talk Radio. Well, let me read this particular comment first. It says, then Yahweh said, you shall not intermarry with foreigners. Give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons. But they will turn away your sons from following me to serve other gods. It says Deuteronomy 7, 3-4. And then it says, stick to your own. That's a comment made on social media. You want to reply to that?
Yes, definitely a comment made by somebody who hasn't been listening, probably somebody who just saw the title, was surfing Facebook or something, saw the title, and decided to make an answer. Nobody who is listening to this from the beginning would call in, because, you know, they'll post anything on social media. Nobody who has been listening to this class from the beginning will have the nerve to call in and throw Deuteronomy 7 up to me. They will not do it.
All right, so right about now, I'm going to let you, because we only have a few minutes on the air, I'm going to let you bring out some more information, and then we're going to go back later on and take some more calls from the people out there. As a matter of fact, I don't see anybody else pressing number 1 for now, but Brother Josh, you want to bring out some more information? You could go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, because let me show you that it was about believers, you know. And see, people sometimes, they get a little lost and they get a little sidetracked. Sal, I'm talking to you now, Sal, because the problem is, one of the reasons why we can't ever seem to get to the root of any problem is because nobody wants to tackle the problem. Everybody wants to talk about everything else. You take one question and put it out there, and before you know it, you got people asking you why God told children of Israel to kill all the Amalekites, and why would God do what he do, and should we stick together as a people and try to strive? The stuff that comes out from one question about one topic. See, that's the problem. And then they get mad at me because I'm not going to let them veer me off topic. And they say, oh, no, you running. No, I'm not running. I'm trying to stay on the topic. The question is interracial marriage a sin? You got to know what it means to be a racist. Being a racist means to have a problem with a people because of the race they are. Has nothing to do with anything they may have said, done, did to anybody you care or love. Has nothing to do with that. You just don't like them for that. But if the Bible gives you a reason for why God wanted the Amalekites dead, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they are Amalekites, it just happens to be that they are the people who did something to his people, that's not racist, sisters and brothers. No more would it be racist if Abdul wanted to kill Lex for something he did to me. Has nothing to do with the race of Lex and Abdul. I'm assuming they're probably the same race. They're both black men. Has nothing to do with that. So what would you guys think if somebody came back later on and they were like, man, only reason why Abdul killed Lex because he's black? Everybody gonna be like, no, he didn't. He killed Lex because he did something to his brother. That's what that was all about. Had nothing to do with that. You feel me? But God don't always operate like that. Sometimes God make a whole nation suffer, and that includes babies every time. You follow what I'm saying? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 6. This is what God was getting at, 14-16. Go ahead and read it.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness?
This is the thing. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. This is what God was trying to prevent among Israel. It wasn't a race thing. It was a belief thing. You don't believe the same thing I believe. So guess what? You can be an Israelite, but you cannot marry another Israelite sister if she's a pagan, if she's an Egyptologist, if she's a Roman Catholic. You can't marry her. and she's still an Israelite. But what if she's a white woman and she worships the God of Israel? She's doing everything. You can marry her, and I'm going to show you that in your Bible. Right? But read verse 16.
Oh, you mean 15, right?
Oh, yeah, 15. Yeah, go ahead.
And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with the infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So it said, what agreement have the temple of God with idols? A believer in the true God with somebody who worships idols. No agreement. That's exactly what Israel was facing, because they were worshiping idols of other nations. Don't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. But what if somebody's a believer? Let's take it from the beginning and show you interracial marriage. Let's go to Genesis 41. You take one discussion that put forth a single yes or no answer, and somebody want to call in and throw the whole discussion out of whack because they personally don't like the Bible. In case you ain't figured it out, this is geared toward believers. If you're not a believer and the question is whether the Bible says something or not, why are you calling in? That's what I want to know. And a lot of these brothers have made it be known that they don't believe the Bible, and they're always attacking and discrediting the Bible. But yet they want to call in on what I like to call an internal discussion. What's an internal discussion? That means that the Bible says this or that. It's not a question of whether we believe the Bible or not. It's a question of does the Bible say this or not. That's an internal discussion. An external discussion would be whether the Bible says something and is it true when it says it. But if we're talking to people who have already accepted the Bible as truth, then those should be the only people interested in pressing one, not somebody who has a problem with the Bible in of itself. And that's what you get on Debate Talk for You a lot. You got brothers who call in and they'll tell you up front, I don't believe the Bible. Well, this particular class right here is only directed at Bible believers. We've had classes where we're dealing with atheists, we're dealing with Muslims, and people of other philosophies. We've had classes like that. Funny thing is, when we have classes like that or debates like that, none of these Bible non-believers call in. But whenever I'm out here doing a class that's only geared at people who believe the Bible and want to know if the Bible says this or not, all of a sudden, all these people who don't even really believe the Bible at all want to start calling in. They want to turn it to they want to change it from an internal discussion to an external discussion. Is the Bible itself valid? Are the things that God do valid? Would a God do this? Why would a God do that? That's not even what we're at. That's not what we're talking about. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm not here to answer why God would do anything, because if I knew every reason why God did everything, then I would be God. It don't matter how much faith you have as a believer. There's going to be something you read in this Bible that God does that you're going to say, I don't know why he did that. You might even say, it don't make sense to me. But just because something don't make sense to you that God does, so that's the criteria for whether God exists or if God is right or not. If it don't make sense to you, then it's wrong. You don't even understand when you think like that, you are making yourself God. You are setting the criteria of what is valid according to what makes sense to you. That's such arrogance. I can't stand people like that. So what you're saying is, if there was a God, then he would agree with the way I think. The fact that the Bible, God, doesn't agree with what I think, that means he's not really God. Because if I was God, I wouldn't do that. That's the mindset people throwing at y'all. See, people don't catch little stuff like this, Abdul. I catch it. If I was God, I wouldn't have told the babies to be killed. I would have let the babies grow up and possibly worship me. Well, yes, that's what you would do if you were God. That makes sense to you. But just because God of the Bible didn't do that, the God of the Bible ain't right, because we know that if there is a God, he would most definitely agree with you. Get out of here, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be serious.
But people also forget.
Go ahead, say that.
No, I was saying people also forget there's a thing called community, and sometimes you raise in a certain environment, and it keeps producing that type of people. So people forget that God might wipe them out because he knew they were just going to grow up to be just like the people, the elders of that community.
Right. And if God don't want to let nobody grow up and properly worship him, that is God's business. That is not up for debate, because I cannot tell you and you cannot tell me why God chose to do that. That's another subjective debate. Once again, trying to slide in a subjective debate. Like I said, the man's name says it all. Vortex. It says it all. You know what I'm saying? Genesis 41 and 45.
All right.
We're reading about Joseph. Let's see who Joseph married. Go ahead and read.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephaniah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, and the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt.
Now look what it says. And Pharaoh, it says, and Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephaniah, and he gave him wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. So Joseph just married outside of his race. He married an Egyptian,
right,
named Asenath. This is an interracial marriage. Let's see what was the result of this interracial marriage. Skip down and read 51 and 52.
And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God Manasseh. For God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house.
If you read down later on in the law, you'll see about the half tribe Manasseh. But the tribe of Manasseh is the result of an interracial marriage, which I don't understand why black Hebrews, the racist ones, will jump up and say God is against interracial marriage. Fool, you are a product of interracial marriage. Why didn't God step in and tell Joseph, hey, wait a minute, marry somebody from among Jacob? Because at that time, there were women available. Marry somebody from among Jacob. Why didn't he stop Joseph? And Joseph served the God of Israel. Right? Why didn't he stop him?
Right.
One of the half tribes of Israel is the result of a union with an Egyptian, which is a Hamite. You got Hamitic blood coursing all through your veins. But it don't matter because it's on your daddy's side. It ain't on your daddy's side, right? But you're still the product of something that wasn't supposed to be. Right? Read the next verse.
And the name of the second called Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
That's the other half tribe, Ephraim, which became the prominent representing tribe of the northern kingdoms of Israel after they split under Solomon's sin. So now we're getting tribes of Israel. They are the result of an interracial marriage. You're going to tell me that God can't stand Africans. You're supposed to marry Africans. Well, Egypt is in Africa last time I checked. And Joseph married an Egyptian to help start, or continue rather, the tribes of Israel. Well, now, it was the start because Joseph was a tribe progenitor. This is the start one of these tribes. You got the tribe of Joseph. You follow what I'm saying? Which is made up of interracial marriage with an Egyptian. And then you got the half tribes. So Joseph actually had a lot of stuff going on in Israel. This is an interracial marriage. Don't try to say, I guess they're going to try to say now, well, she was actually an Israelite living in Egypt. That's what they say. They get really backed into a corner. Get out of here. Let's continue. Let's take a look at somebody else. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2. Let's read about Moses. Is interracial marriage a sin? This is a ridiculous question to ask. Really. Like the guy who posted, stick to your own. Did Joseph stick to his own? We're going to stick. What else before the law? We're going to go after the law then. How about that? And all the way to the end. How about that? You guys are weak, man. Very weak. Y'all need to stop listening to these liars. Simple question. Turn to, we need to stay together and, help our own people. That's not the title of this. We just want to know if something is right or wrong. Why can't you tell me that? I even accept, no, it's not wrong, but it would be more beneficial. Okay, I'll accept that. As long as you know that it ain't wrong to do. Anything you say after that ain't pertaining to the Bible, I don't think I hear is blah, 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 blah. That's all I hear after that. But if you tell me that it's not wrong, if I hear no, then I heard that. You follow what I'm saying? So you're wasting your time if you're trying to get any type of other discussion out of this. You're wasting your time. I'm not going to entertain you. So this is Exodus chapter 2, 16 to 21.
Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water with their flocks.
That's at the priest of Midian. Midianites were descendants of Abraham through his wife Keturah. They are from a different tribe other than Israel. They do not come out of Jacob, so they are considered another race. You follow what I'm saying? And y'all know the story. We're going to skip around a little bit because y'all know the story how Moses stood up against the shepherds and watered their flock for them, and they went back and they told their daddy what he did. Let's see what he ended up doing. Skip down and read verse 20.
And he said unto his daughters, Where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land.
Wait a minute. Midianites, different tribe, different race. Did Moses marry outside his race just not Abdul?
Yes, he did.
That's an interracial marriage. Where God at? Why God ain't stepping in? Joseph, stop. Moses, stop. What are you doing? And if he didn't stop them, why didn't he rebuke them after they did it? It was an interracial marriage. The whole nation of Israel, sisters and brothers, is founded on interracial marriage. And you got these idiots jumping up today saying God against it. But they're going to still try to argue it was before the law. Let's get after the law then. Let's get into the law. Let's go to number 12. Let's get into that then. This is well after the law at Sinai, Mount Sinai, after the judgment. So now we're in the law. So you can't try to say, well, that was before the law, brother. Once the law got established, God said, cut that out. And remember, this one in particularly, because remember with Joseph, he married an Egyptian. Remember in Ezra, the Egyptians were one of the people that was causing Israel to sin. It has nothing to do with the race. It is the religion. Do not play games with me. That's why folks want to call in. They want to talk around what I'm talking about. Want to raise up other stuff. Somebody gonna probably ask the question, man, why should we marry them after what they don't did to us? That ain't the question. The question is, does God have a problem with it? That's the question. That's the only thing I'm here to answer tonight. That's what this is about. That's why it's so hard to get to the root of any problem we have with these discussions, because everybody want to talk about everything but what's been put on the table as a question. And it's deliberate. They do this on purpose because a lot of folks don't want y'all to get to the root of this. They know if I keep going, you going to see it. So they want to call in and start throwing out other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the topic and try to pretend like it's related to the topic, under the pretext of it's related to the topic. If I do a class title, is interracial marriage a sin, then it's up to you to show me a scripture in the Bible that specifically says don't marry them because of their tribe or where they're from. You got to show me that. I don't want to hear about no dang Amalekites. What they got to do with what I'm asking? People love doing that and then want to accuse you of avoiding the question when you don't even want to deal with what's been put on the table in the first place. Game, Pete, game. It's real simple. That's why when LaRon Campbell called in, he already know what time it is with that brother. We already know what time it is with that brother. Everybody know what time it is with old Lex. So every time he calls in, I see him as an unbeliever trying to discredit this Bible. He ain't calling in to try to answer the question, is interracial marriage a sin? He's calling in to try to discredit the Bible in general, which is fine, but not fine for me if I'm trying to answer a specific internal question about the Bible. Now, if I did a question about is the Bible valid, should you believe the Bible, is the Bible the truth, and he called in with all that, then why would I get mad? That's what's been put on the table. But when you got somebody who just want to throw the whole topic off and try to take it in another direction, then I got a problem with that. You follow what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that to him. He got a show. Even during the show, he come out with a specific topic. I'm not gonna do that topic. If I call in, I'm gonna address that topic. I'm not gonna call in talking about all which and whatever. That's rude. That's deceptive. That's devious. Not gonna do that. Right? So this right here is Numbers chapter 12. Right? We read about Moses, Miriam, and Aaron. Watch and see how Miriam and Aaron were racist. They was against interracial marriage. Let's see who God gonna side with, them or Moses. Verse 1 and 2. Go ahead and read.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it.
See, what they were trying to do, because they were jealous of Moses and the position he had, they tried to discredit him by the fact that he married an Ethiopian. Ethiopian is a Greek word. It comes from the Greek word Ethiop, meaning burnt faces. Right? In the Hebrew, it's Cush. That would make her a Hamite, which is different from the Midianite, which comes from Abraham's wife Keturah. This is a Hamite. So she's not even in the lineage of Shem. So Moses married an African. This is in the law. After the law being given. If it was a sin to do this, right? Or if Moses did it in the past and this woman is dead and it's just wrong, right? Moses married an African. This is the lawgiver, the biggest figure in the entire Old Testament. He married an African. And you're going to let some idiotic black people jump up and say, God, I hate Africans. When the lawgiver, or their lawgiver, married one. And now we got an example of somebody speaking against it. Let's see who God sides with. Let's see if he's going to say, Moses, they are right. You should not have married outside of the tribe of Israel. Or let's see if he's going to get them. Skip down and read verses 10 and 11.
And the cloud
start at verse 9. Start at verse 9. 9 to 11. Go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not thy sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, wherein we have sinned.
How did they sin? They sinned because they spoke against Moses for marrying an Ethiopian woman, and they were jealous of him.
Being prejudiced.
They were prejudiced. They were racist. So here you have an example of the most famous figure in the Old Testament marrying outside of his race, an African at that. Marrying outside of his race, his own brother and sister try to get him for doing it, and God sides with Moses and punishes them. He didn't even say, yet Moses, you are still at fault for marrying the Ethiopian. Yeah, they're wrong too, but so are you. He didn't say that. He just got them. Specifically Miriam, because she was the one leading this rebellion. What was that, Abdul?
Josh, I'll say what really takes the cake is he was a lawgiver, like you said earlier. I'm like, this is the lawgiver marrying
right. This is the lawgiver.
African.
This is the man himself. And he married an African. And they tried to get at him for doing it. You're going to tell me God is against interracial marriage. Please. You are the product of interracial marriage. You ignorant Hebrew you. Let's continue. You know what I'm saying? Let's go down to Exodus 12. Let's see when the children of Israel first came up out of Egypt. That's the thing, man. If you don't believe the Bible, I don't want to talk to you. That's my whole point in this particular class. If we're doing a class where we're discussing the validity of the Bible, then you have every right to call in and give a reason why or why you don't believe it. But I'm getting so tired of people calling in on my class because they love doing it to me. Calling in on my classes, and you know you don't believe the Bible, and you know I do, and you're trying to snake on in here and put out a whole different agenda that really you're trying to discredit the Bible altogether when you know that the majority of the people who's tuning in to this show are Bible believers. Now, why would you do that? Because you're a snake. You are a viper. I don't like those kind of people. You got too many people who don't believe the Bible, and they always somehow manage to wind up in Bible discussions. Figure that one out. I don't believe in evolution. How many evolution blogs have you Josh on? How many evolution blogs on radio stations? I ain't got nothing to say. I don't believe it. Why would I be up in there? To challenge it? You follow what I'm saying? Get a hobby, man. You don't believe the Bible, but you can't stay away from Bible believers. Get a hobby. It's like me. It would be like me being in the Crips, and I can't stop hanging around Bloods. Crips and Bloods don't hang around with each other. One see the other, they shooting. We are on opposite sides of the line. Why are you always on my side of the line if you don't like or believe what I'm doing? You got an agenda. You're a snake. That's what you are. And I'm going to call a snake when I see a snake. This is Exodus chapter 12. So lonely. Can't find enough people to believe the way you believe, so you want to go around a bunch of people that believe different from you. So lonely, so pathetic, so pitiful. Exodus 12. I ain't got to do that because I got enough people who love what I do. I ain't got to go. I ain't never lonely. I got plenty of people who love what I do. Exodus 12, 37 to 38. This is when the children of Israel came up out of Egypt. Go ahead and read.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they
baked a mixed multitude. That's good. It's a mixed multitude, right? What that means is a mixed population consisting of Hebrew Israelites and non-Hebrew Israelites. And I'm going to prove that to you. We're going to go to alternate translations of the Bible so y'all can see that even the modern translations understand this. And just in case you don't believe the modern translations, look it up in the Strong's. Go to Blue Letter. They're going to all agree with me. So I got you no matter where you try to run. This is Exodus 12. Exodus chapter 12, and we're going to read verses 37 and 38. In the New International Version, right? NIV, look what it says. The Israelites journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth. There were about 600,000 men on foot besides women and children. Many other people went up with them, as well as large droves of livestock. Many other people besides the Israelites. Notice they telling you that these were non-Israelites that left out of Egypt with them, which means from the very beginning, Israel had foreigners living among them. Now, you want me to believe that Israel had foreigners living among them, but marriage with a foreigner is a sin. What did they do? They had their own little communities where they just stayed off in the cut? No, be serious. We're going to read the same thing in the New Living Translation. Exodus chapter 12, 37 and 38. Look what it says. That night, the people of Israel left Ramses and started for Succoth. There was about 600,000 men, plus all the women and children, and they were all traveling on foot. Many people who were not Israelites went with them. Notice all the other translations let you know when it says mixed multitude, it means non-Israelites. And if you still don't believe it, go read Ezra chapter 6, and it's about the mixed multitude. Same word is used there in the Hebrew, and it meant different races of people intermingling with Israel. So they had other people coming up out of Egypt. Israel, from the very start, was never purely Israelites, y'all. Why y'all gonna let these lying Hebrew Israelites jump up and try to tell you interracial marriage is a sin? Israel ain't ever been a pure nation, y'all. And when I say pure nation, I mean Israelites only. This is the beginning of the nation of Israel. This is when Israel first became an official nation, or on their way to become an official nation when they came up out of Egypt. People say, well, they was a nation when they were in Egypt. No, when you are a nation, that means you got your own land. That means you got your own set of laws. All you were in Egypt, as far as the word nation is concerned, was that, you just the tribes of Israel. But you were not officially established as a governing nation until you came up out of Egypt, right? This right here is the New American Standard Bible, Exodus chapter 12, 37 and 38. It said, now the sons of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, aside from children. A mixed multitude also went up with them. So this is the same thing. We see that mixed multitude means non-Hebrew Israelites. They were mixed in with Israel. So if that is the case, then wouldn't that mean we should be able to find an example of an interracial marriage after this? We should, and we are. Go to Leviticus 19. These guys will be lying so much, they just lie to you. I don't care if y'all don't like me. I really don't. I'm going to tell you the truth. You can mumble on social media. You can go back to your congregations and talk about me behind my back. But I dare you to press 1 and show the people that the way I'm interpreting these particular verses, not jumping to the Bible and going to some verse all the way in Revelation 9. No, these particular verses, I dare you to press 1 and say, that verse don't mean that, bro. It really means this. They will never do that, Abdul, because they know I'm telling the truth. They know I'm telling the truth. They know I'm not lying. Just like when I put that other bird on the spot. What research you got proving that the word human means hue and man? I don't heard that lie before. That's phonetics. We got grown men and women playing toddler and kindergarten games. That's the type of game we used to play in school. When something sounded like something else, we pretend they meant the same thing.
Right.
I remember playing that when I was in grade school. And you got grown men and women doing that together. I knew when I asked him about their source, he wasn't going to have it. Why y'all think I asked? Why do you think I asked? Do you think I would have confidently asked that man to provide a source for that if I knew he was telling the truth? I wouldn't even ask. I was like, well, that's what it says.
Yep.
I did it because I knew he was going to fold like a deck of cards when it was required to bring proof. I am tired of these brothers lying to y'all, and when you ask them just to show you the research, well, I'll get back to you later. Matter of fact, y'all can get back to me. No more games, sisters and brothers. These guys are playing with y'all. I already heard that before. I heard all kinds of color arguments. I don't heard that name of argument. See, the leopards, and all the white folks walking around today, or some of them, they come from that. They're a result of that. First of all, leprosy is a skin disorder. It is not a race. A race is determined by tribe. Second of all, the guy who Elijah cursed is still an Israelite. I don't care if you turn blue. That don't change your tribe affiliation. So even if those were a group of white people walking around today, wouldn't that still mean that they are Hebrew Israelites? That's crazy. The class entitled is Interracial Marriage a Sin. People got black color, they got a more of affinity. I mean, some of the foolishness that people call in and debate talk for you with. Even when they agree, they just got to add some stupidity to the truth. We just can't let the truth just sit and resonate in our hearts. No, we got somebody got to call in and spread a little bit of doo-doo on top of it. Stop it. Just let the truth just hang. Beautiful. Interracial marriage is not a sin. The end. No, we got to throw something else in there. That's how Satan do. Absolute Bible truth, not 99%. Now, this is Leviticus 19, 33 to 34. We're reading about an interracial marriage. Go ahead and read.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him, but the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
If a stranger sojourns with you, that means a foreigner, the same thing that the prophet said when he posted the comment online where he said, don't marry foreigners. Y'all always said don't marry foreigners. Stay with your own. Something like that. This right here is talking about foreigners. It said if a stranger, a foreigner, a non-Hebrew, sojourn with you in your land, you shall not vex him. That means abuse him. That means mistreat him. You can't be racist. That's what it's saying. But the stranger that dwells with you shall be unto you as one amongst you. That means they shall be just like every other Hebrew Israelite. And thou shalt love him as thyself. Did it say all that? But you can't intermarry with him. Did it say that?
No, did not.
It did not say that, because we're not dealing with the nations who God told Israel to drive out as a nation or as nations. We're dealing with individuals who may be from those nations who want to serve the God of Israel. I've already showed you that Joseph and Moses both had interracial relationships. Moses had 2 of them. Right? A Midianite and a Cushite, an Ethiopian. That's married outside the tribe. Moses married an African, Ethiopians, Hamites. That's what they were called, Africans. That's what the black Hebrews were called. That's an African. You follow what I'm saying? Be serious. So now we see what the book says about strangers, right? Now, let's take a look at an example of a stranger, a foreigner, a non-Hebrew, marrying a Hebrew Israelite woman. Leviticus 24, 10 and 11. Go ahead and read.
And the son of Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel, and this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Hold on, wait.
Okay.
It says, and the son of an Israelitish woman, a female Israelite, when you look that up in the Strong's, that's what that means, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. So you got this woman who was an Israelite married to this Egyptian, and they got a child. It's an interracial marriage. That's an interracial marriage. Right, Abdul?
Sure is.
That's an interracial marriage right now. But let's see what's going on here. Read verse 11.
And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shilomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan.
It said the daughter of Dibri, the tribe of Dan. So this woman was from the tribe of Dan. And she was married to an Israelite man. They had a child together, and that child blasphemed. You can read the rest of the story and see what happened. But I brought this out to show you that there were interracial couples and families in ancient Israel. But that shouldn't be too hard for you to believe, because you just read that when Israel left Egypt, they had a mixed multitude with them, and you just read this family right here. And you read about Moses. How can somebody say interracial marriage is a sin? It's not a sin. It is a sin to marry a non-believer. That is the problem God had with these people. Stop lying to people and telling them, oh, God don't want us to marry Africans. He don't want to marry white folks. No. God don't want you marrying anybody who don't believe in him. It don't matter what color or race they are. But if they do believe in him, still don't matter what color or race they are. You can marry him. You don't tell me I can't marry African, and Moses married an African. Moses married a Midianite. Joseph married an African. We got a woman right here married to an Egyptian, an African. Let's keep going. Let's go to Joshua chapter 6. I be laughing at these guys sometimes. They ain't ready. They still stuck on stupid. How you going to be in 2015 and still believe in stuff that can be easily disproved by just simply reading? But then again, it's not that they're being deceived. They're prejudiced. They're racist. They're going to teach their racist views. It don't matter what I show some people who are listening now. They're going to leave here like they ain't heard a thing. They're going to go keep teaching that lie. But for y'all who are called by God, who are drawn in by the Father himself, as Jesus Christ said, even if you were believing this crap at one time, you're going to repent, because God has drawn you to him. But anybody who's still stuck on stupid, that's them. I don't care about them. If God can't save them, what I'm going to do with them? There's nothing I can do for you. You just stay in your lane. Don't even come talk to me. Like people who don't believe the Bible. You once was a Bible believer, now you don't. Now you want to come at me because you don't believe the Bible no more. Misery really does love company. I thought when you gave up the Bible, that was the best thing that ever happened to you. You don't seem to be too happy because every time I turn around, you still among Bible believers. They'll be like me breaking out. They'll be like me serving 20 years in prison, right? Hard time, too. Not no easy. I mean, like, I'm avoiding being raped almost every day. The food is terrible. They got me sleeping on a rotten, bad cot. And then they finally come to me and say, Brother Josh, you are free to go. And as soon as they let me go, I go get a job at that same prison. What? I don't ever want to see that place again. I'm free. But you got people that claim they are free because they no longer believe the Bible, and yet they can't stay away from what they call the prison. Well, I'm trying to get other people out. Why do you care? Why do you care? If nothing's going to happen to them, I had that with an atheist. I asked that atheist the same question. What would happen to me if I stop believing the Bible and start believing or not believing what you do? What would happen? What would be different? Dude said nothing. We have been debating for 3 hours. 3 hours, y'all. Time that I will never get back, and the man tells me we've been debating for nothing. Because that's what was going on. If you're telling me that if I believe, if you believe in offending what I believe, I will get nothing new. But that's 3 hours of my life. And your time to listen to that debate, gone. The man plainly told you, you will get nothing. Nothing will change. No penalty, no reward. So why are you working so freaking hard to make me stop believing? Because you don't even realize that the devil is using you. I don't work hard to try to gain unbelievers. I put the word out there. If you like it, come along. I don't go among unbelievers trying to get them. I don't do that. Right? This is Joshua chapter 6, verse 25. Joshua 6 and 25. Let's read about another woman. 6 and 25. Go ahead and read.
And Joshua saved Rahab, the harlot, alive, in her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent out to spy out Jericho.
And then Joshua says Rahab the harlot alive, right? She was a non-Hebrew. All these Hamitic tribes that Joshua was messing with, right?
Right.
In her father's household, and all that she had, and she dwelled with Israel, in Israel, all that is even to this day. So she, after Joshua saved her, this woman started living among the children of Israel as one of them, and became so influential that she ended up being a direct ancestor of your Messiah, Jesus Christ. And I'm going to show you that. Let's go to chapter 4, right after Joshua. God is against interracial marriages. Y'all are so dumb. All of Israel was made of interracial marriages. All of interracial marriages were going around from the beginning. All 12 sons of Jacob married outside of their tribe. They didn't have a choice. And then after that, they continued to do so. Y'all trying to twist the scriptures to make people think God don't want Israelites.
Hello?
Yeah, that's by the way, Brother Josh's call actually dropped. Hopefully he calls Brother Abdul. I believe he's going to probably call you in a minute. But his call just dropped. We're just waiting for Brother Josh to call back in. Again, appreciate everybody that's been calling in and sharing it on their personal page, making comments. We have a lot of people out there that's addressing this issue on their social media page. So, we're just waiting for Brother Josh to possibly call Abdul to come back in, because we're in the overtime part of the show. So he can't call it directly. He has to go through Abdul, and hopefully we can get more information. Again, if you have any comments at the time, you want to press number 1. If you have any comments, you know that number, 646-716-7320. Press number 1, and we can add you in. If you want to say anything about this class, guest. Is interracial marriage a sin? Feel free to do so. It's all about the people making their comments. Again, this is the final week, the season 5 finale for Debate Talk for You. And we have one more show tomorrow, and pretty much we're going to wrap it up and come back September 11th with season 6 of Debate Talk for You. So, Abdul, did you get a call back yet? All right, so stand by, everybody. We're just waiting for that connection. Stand by.
All right, you sound good, Abdul. Okay, we're going to Ruth, chapter 4, verse 21. Right after Joshua. Let's see what happened with Rahab the harlot. When you get there, read verses 21 and 22.
And Solomon begot Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David.
It said, and Jesse begot David, right? So we're seeing this right here in the Bible, this lineage, right? I actually said it was after Joshua. This is actually after Judges. I'm sorry, right? So it tells you right here, and Solomon begot Boaz, Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David, right? But there is a woman involved in this genealogy. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 1. And read verses 5 and 6. As a product of an interracial marriage.
And Solomon begot, and Solomon begot Boaz, Rahab, and Boaz begot Obed, and Ruth, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot
Now, if
David.
you look up this word Rahab in the Greek, it tells you it is Rahab. The same Rahab who Joshua rescued along with her family, and she stayed among Israel. So you got Rahab, right there, and Solomon begot Boaz of Rahab, and Boaz begot Obed of Ruth. Go ahead.
And Jesse begot David, the son, David the king, and David begot Solomon of her that had been the wife of Urias.
Now look, if you look at this lineage continues, and it goes down to Jesus' stepfather, Joseph. So this is an interracial marriage. But notice it also mentioned Ruth in this interracial marriage. How can anybody say that interracial marriage is a sin when I'm showing you that not only did the great patriarchs like Joseph and Moses intermarry, but also, if you are a Messianic Hebrew, your Messiah is the lineage that he came to for his kingly lineage on his stepfather's side, what makes him have the right to be king, has interracial marriages in it. How can you say that? The interracial marriages, because you are a racist. I told y'all from the very beginning, a racist is not qualified to teach this lesson, because they're not going to tell you the truth. Just like somebody who don't believe the Bible is not have to do a Bible study. They're going to twist things. They're going to make things stuff to try to make the Bible look bad and nasty and uncredible. And you got too many people who picks up the Bible and do this, and then they like to slither their way into Bible-believing discussions. That's what they like to do. They can't stay away from us. They got to be where Bible believers are, because they don't even understand that that's that demonic spirit controlling them anyway. Because from a logic standpoint of view, why would I waste my time around people who don't believe what I believe? There are many atheists in this world right now that could care less what's going on the Debate Talk for You. Because that has nothing to do with it. I don't believe that Bible. I don't want to hear that. It's not TV. Right? But the ones I don't understand are the ones who say, I don't know the Bible, but they can't stay off the Debate Talk for You. Hey, I don't even believe Brother Josh. I'm trolling him everywhere he goes. But you don't believe me. over with between me and y'all. We had our debate. It's over with, but yet every time I'm on Sal Show, oh yeah, this is me. I want to call in. I can't stay away from me. Can't get enough of me. But I'm so wrong. I'm so terrible. I'm so awful. But every time I turn around, there you are. Last time I checked, when you couldn't stand somebody, you did not want to be around them. You don't want to go anywhere they are. That's what I thought it meant. These people have a crazy, unhealthy, unnatural obsession for ABT. But they want to make me the crazy one. Hey, I ain't on your page. I don't care what you're doing. You coming over here trying to call in, trying to disturb me. You follow what I'm saying? Because you feel like you got something the people need to hear, even though you don't believe the Bible yourself. That's crazy. Y'all better start waking up. So we can see that interracial marriage in the Messiah's lineage through his stepfather Joseph. Even if you don't believe the New Testament, you still got Rahab marrying an Israelite. That's an interracial marriage. And you got Ruth. Now let's go to Ruth. We ain't going to go through the whole thing because of time. I'll just give you the summary of the story, right? You had this woman named Naomi. She had a husband, 2 sons. Her husband and her sons died in the land of Moab. These were all Hebrew Israelites, right? The women who her sons had married were Moabites, right? One of them name was Ruth. After the woman's husband and her 2 sons died, she told her 2 sons' wives to go back to Moab, go back to your people and your gods. One of her daughter-in-laws agreed to do that. The one that did not want to do that was Ruth. And amazingly enough, you got people that try to tell you that Ruth was not a Moabite. She was an Israelite, and everything implies that. Let's go to Ruth, right after Judges. Going back to Ruth. This is an interracial marriage. Ruth, chapter 1. Like I said, I already gave you the summary. So I'm just going to get to what I want to see. Ruth, chapter 1. We're going to read verses 15 and 16. Go ahead and read. This is Ruth talking to Naomi, an Israelite woman. Go ahead and read.
And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law.
Look how she's talking. Look what she's telling. Hold on one second. I need you to speak a little louder, too, because I'm having trouble hearing. I don't even think it's you. I think it's my end.
Okay.
It says, and she said, this is Naomi talking to Ruth, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people, the Moabites, and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. Why in the world would Naomi say this to a woman she knows is an Israelite? What type of Israelite woman would tell a fellow Israelite woman, go and serve the gods of Moab? Go be among those people. That don't make any sense. Watch what Ruth said, verse 6.
And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and whither thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God.
Why would she say all of that if the God of Israel was already her God, Abdul?
That don't make no dang sense.
That don't make no dang sense. Why would she say, your people will be my people? If she was already an Israelite, she would have been like, well, you know, the other Moabite woman gone about her business. Mom, let's go back to Israel. Why would Naomi even tell her to leave? Go after your sister-in-law, to her God. Why would Naomi tell another Israelite to go worship other gods? That's a sin.
That's right.
But yet she going back to Israel. It's not like Naomi said, okay, let's all go back to Moab and live among them and practice their ways. She didn't say that. She said, go back to your people. The woman said no. And once she determined that she was going to do that, let's see what ended up happening. So let's go to chapter 4. And we only got one more after that. The game these people played with all salvation. Ruth chapter 4. Ruth was an Israelite. Cornelius was an Israelite. They try to make Adam was an Israelite. Have you ever heard that with Abdul? I don't heard them say Adam was an Israelite. How in the world is Adam an Israelite?
No, I haven't heard
These
that one.
folks are dumb. It's like me saying David was a Christian. Ruth chapter 4. Right? I want you to read verses 9 to 11. Go ahead.
All right. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, you are witnesses this day. I have brought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. And moreover, Ruth and Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, and raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. That name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day.
Now he's bringing this to the elders, right? He's trying to get the elders to okay him marrying this non-Hebrew Israelite woman. Why I just laugh, which is why I just laugh when I see these ignorant racist Hebrews try to make Ruth be an Israelite. They'll try to do anything. Remember, when you're a racist, you're going to teach your racist views. It don't matter what the Bible actually says. It don't matter what the Constitution says. It don't matter what history says. You're going to teach your racist views. You have been tainted. You cannot be trusted. You're not qualified to do this. Why do you think when some people go to trial, right, or there's a trial concerning a guy who murdered your loved one, they don't even allow you in the courtroom because they think you're going to go crazy. They don't allow you in there. You follow what I'm saying? So why would you allow somebody who you know got real hostility toward a people to teach you the truth regarding racism or not? They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to go crazy. We have to understand that, sisters and brothers. We got to stop being so stupid. I don't like using that word, but there's no other way to describe it. Stupid. And only God can fix stupid. Brother Josh can't fix stupid. Brother Josh can fix ignorance, but Brother Josh can't fix stupid. That's something God got to take off of you. Right? Go ahead and read verse 11.
And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come unto thy house like Rachel, and Leah, which two did build the house of Israel, and did thou worthily in Ephrathah. Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. And
look what I'm saying. Let's make this woman Ruth be like Rachel and Leah. Why are they saying make her be like them? If she was already an Israelite woman, they wouldn't have to say that. Let her be the progenitor of the house of Israel, or a house of Israel. Right? Let this woman that came into that house, like Rachel, like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. In other words, we want her to help build out the house of Israel. This is not an Israelite. This is an interracial marriage. Period. Why are we still debating this, Abdul?
I don't know.
Why? Why? Because you're dealing with a bunch of racial, hard-headed people. Anybody who tells you up front they are a racist, don't let them teach you about this stuff, because they're not going to give you an honest view. If they do give you an honest view, then they're going to condemn themselves. And ain't nobody going to do that. Ain't nobody going to come on debate talk to you as a known guest and be like, yeah, I know the Bible say that racism is wrong, that we can intermarry with people, but I'm going to go against the Bible, even though I claim I believe the Bible. Ain't nobody going to come on here and say that. So what they're going to try to do is twist the Bible to try to make it agree with them. But y'all can see this right here in the Bible. There's no getting away from this. Right? Let's go to the last one, at 16:1. Time to stop all the nonsense, sisters and brothers. Stop all the lies. Stop all the emotions. Some of these brothers walking around here more emotional than the women. And got to be the first one to jump up. I'm a man. You're a little boy. That's what you are. Can't even control your emotions. Still whining about something that happened in the past that didn't even affect you. I mean, I watched the Boondocks one day. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And Huey had to bust out Granddad. We were attacked by dogs. Were you personally attacked by dogs? I don't see what that got to do with it, because you got a lot of people trying to take credit for what some people did or went through. And that's what you got a lot of folks walking around here today, crying. Yeah, the white man did me so wrong. What did the white man do to you? Did the white man sit down on you? Did the white man put you in the belly of the ship? Did the white man spray you personally with a water hose? No. Then what's your excuse? I don't want to hear it. If you didn't personally experience it, I don't want you to talk about it unless you're giving some kind of history report or something. I don't want to hear it. Stop trying to take credit for what some people went through and you never personally experienced yourself. I had some fool call in on the show I did a while back trying to tell me when I asked him and he knew what I was talking about. I said, have you ever been whipped by a white man? He was like, yeah. I said, let me make sure you understand me. Have you ever personally been whipped like our Hebrew forefathers and the Negro slaves in America were whipped? I mean, tied up to a tree and somebody took an actual whip and beat you. Yeah, I said, so I'll go to the next call. Because when he started explaining it, he meant in a metaphoric way. But he knew I meant literally. Get out of here, man. I don't want to hear that crap. Stop making excuses and start making changes. There's nothing wrong with you marrying outside of your race. But there is something wrong with you marrying outside of your religion. There is something wrong with that. Acts chapter 16 and verse 1. Acts 16 and 1. This is the last one. Go ahead and read.
Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus, the son. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, and his father was a Greek.
It says his mother was a Jewess. That means a female Jew, and his father was a Greek. That's an interracial marriage, and Timothy was the product of that. And yet, you got all these brothers reading 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy, racist black Hebrews. Why didn't Paul say, brother, you really are not supposed to be like this. I can't use you. Why would you use somebody who is an example of something God told us not to do and tell him to go start setting up churches? That would be a good representative. That would be like me trying to send a white man to the racist black Hebrews to tell them about the Bible. They ain't going to accept him. So if it was God's word that we're not supposed to have interracial marriages, why would he have a representative of something we were not supposed to do go out among Israelites and set up churches?
That's right.
That would be stupid. You shooting yourself in the foot. So as you can see, sisters and brothers, to answer the question, is interracial marriage a sin? The Bible says no. What the Bible has a problem with and had a problem with was Israelites marrying foreign non-believers. But as I have shown you, if a stranger sojourned among Israel and kept the laws of God, they were considered to be just like Israelites, which I've proven a million other times in other lessons, and therefore you could marry them. I even gave you an example of a woman from the tribe of Dan and an Egyptian man, and they had a child. I even showed you where Joseph married an Egyptian. I showed you where Moses married an Ethiopian, where he married a Midianite. Boaz married a Moabite. Rahab married an Israelite. These are all interracial marriages. And these are all prominent figures in the Bible. These are not nobodies who you got to really turn through the Bible and read about. These are well-known Bible figures. So if anybody is telling you that it is a sin to marry outside of your race, then the first thing you need to ask them is that, are you a racist? Most of them are honest these days. They'll tell you, yep. And if they say, yeah, you tell them, I don't want to learn about this from you because you're not going to give me an honest perspective. You're going to read your racist views into this text. Find somebody who is not a racist, and they will tell you the truth about this. And if you get the truth about this and you know that interracial marriage is not a sin and you have broken a relationship or left your own relationship because of that, you may not be able to fix that relationship. You may not be able to do it. But you can go back to that person and ask that if it's God will, they forgive you for your foolishness and ignorance. See you next time.
I see we have a lot of people, still standing by in the overtime part of the show. We have a lot of Skype callers still standing by. We only have time for like quick comments, and after that we're going to pretty much wrap it up. So if you're still on the phone line and you want to have a brief comment real quick, just press number 1 and we can add you in. Again, we appreciate everybody that's been sharing this on their social media page. I see a lot of people with a lot of comments on social media. Definitely a hot topic for the night is interracial marriage and sin. But before we wrap up the show or hear from the people, Brother John, let the people know about the new book that you have, 101 Questions to Ask in the Nuwabian. Let them know what it entails, and we can pretty much see what the people have to say. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just recently released a book about a week ago titled 101 Questions to Ask the Nuwabian. It's geared toward these people who follow Malachi Z. York. A lot of y'all know about him. A few years back, he was arrested for child molestation charges, but yet he still got a lot of followers worldwide. And what this book does is it asks 101 questions to its followers to show that there are several contradictions and inconsistencies within this man's books. And that's what he made a name for himself off of. He's written they say he's written over 400 books. And, and back in the day, I used to read his stuff. I used to buy his material. And when I started reading this stuff, I started noticing contradictions, inconsistencies. I mean, blatant, irreconcilable contradictions, right? And I tested it out on Nuwabians. They have no answers. They know that the man contradicts himself. They know this, the ones I've shown it to. So it also aimed at these conscious groups. It got a lot of stuff in there that refute a lot of stuff that they come up with. One of the conscious groups' doctrines is that whole thing that you guys was saying today about that human. Yes, Malachi threw that out there before. I've heard this stuff before. That's why I'm ready to attack it when I hear it. You follow what I'm saying? So this book has everything in it. It talks about Paul, talks about Jesus, talks about the crucifixion, talks about the resurrection, talks about angels in the book of Genesis, talks about Gabriel, the virgin birth, talks about Egyptology, was Jesus plagiarized from Horus, was Jesus plagiarized from Tammuz. This book has everything in it. And it's on sale right now at my online store along with other products. Check it out. If you get it, download it, and you read a comment. It's an ebook. If you read it, leave a comment. And you can get it at absolutebibletruth.com/store. Again, it's absolutebibletruth.com/store. Thank you.
All right, so pretty much it was a classic, man, another classic. I appreciate you, Brother Josh, for coming on for the season finale week, Season 5, Debate Talk for You, bringing forth this powerful information. Any last words you want to share with the people before we sign off?
Nothing. I'm just surprised. I mean, apparently we don't have anybody else on the switchboard, and I'm just surprised because what you hear on Facebook, and then you give me the numbers afterwards, and I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm hearing about what's going on Facebook, and I'm like, it's a bunch of cowards out there because they talk all this stuff, and then I come on Debate Talk for You, and I let you open up the phone and take a shot at what I'm saying, not other stuff, because people try to they like to come in through the back door. You know what I'm saying? No, if I'm standing on my front porch, come walk up on the front porch. Don't try to see into some back window or in the attic. Come face me. And that's what a lot of brothers who try to call in on my shows to do. They don't want to directly attack or address what I'm saying. That's what your guy Vortex did. He want to call in and start talking about the Amalekites. What they got to do with interracial marriage. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm tired of all these backdoor Jodies trying to creep in. You know what I'm saying? Now, face me. Address what I put out. Read the verses I read. That's what I would do to you. If you read the verse and I think that verse is misinterpreted, I'm going to address that verse. I'm not going to take you to another part of the Bible and place the Bible against the Bible. You got a lot of people who do that, Sal. You got a lot of people who, when you ask them a question about a particular scripture that you went to, they'll take you to another scripture to explain it when the explanation is already in the scripture they're reading. They're just misreading it. You follow what I'm saying? So that's one of the tactics that people use when they see guys like me who got, in-depth knowledge of the scriptures come on. They say, I can't attack him directly. I'd be annihilated. So let me see if I can throw him off by trying to slither in from another way or another angle and try to get him off his game. You follow what I'm saying? And people like that, they have no business on your show. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they're not really trying to edify anybody. They're just trying to play Stump the Scholar. If y'all don't know what that means, Stump the Scholar means whoever is on Sal's show presenting an argument. You're not here to see if he's telling the truth. You're just here if you can prove him wrong or throw him off his game. That's called Stump the Scholar. I'm not into that. Now, if you disagree with something that ABT is putting out, that's fine. But don't be in the chat room running your mouth and you're listening and you got a phone and you can press 1. Don't be on Facebook running your mouth and you're listening and you got a phone and you can press 1. I'm right here. I don't hide. I'm right here in the open. But address what I'm talking about. We got too many Lex vortexes out there. We're trying to spin you away from the topic at hand. Address what I'm talking about. I want to see about interracial marriages. That's what I want to see about. God got a problem with interracial marriages because of the race. If you can't do that, please, with all due respect, keep your mouth shut. Keep it moving. But that's all I got to say. Thank you for everybody who support ABT. I know a lot of y'all out there have grown to love us, and we love you back. So I thank everybody for coming out to hear this message, and I hope you are edified by it. Thank you.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Hey, faithful listeners and thinkers. My name is Reese Roberts, and I'm the host of a new podcast called Entertain the Thought, now available on SoundCloud and www.reeseroberts.com. The website and podcast are focused on teaching consciousness and human evolution in current social conditions. As a free member on reeseroberts.com, you'll have access to curated content like videos and free book downloads. You can also schedule personal consulting services for teenagers, singles, and married couples. I also offer an enrichment training program that teaches students the fundamental arts of research and debate to increase their knowledge of self. The T-Team is now open for enrollment. For more information, please visit www.serveincorporated.com/register. Again, that's www.servincorporated.com/register. Thank you very much for tuning in to Debate Talk for You Radio.